All right, we're starting, everybody. Here comes the show. Enjoy. Thanks for being here. Chat room. Starting in 3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome to Core, the only podcast on Earth hosted by three middle-aged white guys.
Hello.
It's the only one.
Hello.
Only one.
Nobody else has this. This is not like the predominant podcast makeup. We really are unique in this moment.
How did we decide to be so bold and so brave?
Well, look, it's a harsh
the only
world.
Entertaining one. Oh!
Oh!
Look at other middle-aged video game podcasts.
Damn.
You've made a lot of enemies.
Damn.
A lot of them.
Damn,
I'm
son.
a gamer. Everyone's an enemy.
That's true. You don't like anyone, right?
No, I'm just kidding. Except for no. I just mean just because of the way gamers are. The whole trope.
You know what's funny? You're the most gamer person I know, but the least on the negative stereotype end of that. Does that make sense? Like you are a hardcore gamer in my mind, but you're not.
Yes.
You don't have the dick outfit that a lot of them wear. If you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, well, I've experienced other things in life.
100% gamer, no dick.
No dick.
I think always the problem with the gamer that didn't have other experiences outside of gaming, the non-touching grass kind.
Yeah, touching grass is good. Get out there, get a handful, rub it around, rub it on you. All right, that's what I'm saying.
There's not a lot here. It's mostly rocks and astroturf, sand.
That's true. Zero escaping. A lot of that where you live.
Yeah,
which I like. I would do that here. Yeah, heat, zero escaping. What else you got?
Buildings? There's buildings there.
Yeah. There's sometimes there's fountains.
Class A.
Oh, fountains.
Top shelf Class A air conditioning systems, I think, in Phoenix.
You must have like a baller ass. You must have a baller ass rec center or like casino or something, right?
I don't know. Probably. I don't go in for that.
You don't have any casinos, I don't think. I don't think it's legal there.
No, we got casinos around.
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't know Arizona had legalized them.
There's probably like when they don't go to Vegas.
Well, there's a lot of reservation like land out here. They have casinos.
Good point. Because they get to do what they want on their land, and they should.
Yeah.
With the little bit we gave back to them. Anyway, let's not get into that argument right now. Let's dive directly into today's big topic, and guess what? We have one. So here it is. We're going to talk about the Game Award nominees. They've been announced.
Oh boy! Oh boy! Oh boy! Oh boy! Oh boy! Oh boy! Oh boy!
Wait, did you skip? Did you want to say this first bit?
You know what? I'm glad you reminded me. I did forget. I paged down when I meant to stay there. We're going to give away our winner for last week's mechanical keyboard caps from the fine folks at Glorious Gaming, glorious.gg. We have a winner.
Glorious.
And his name is Michael McDonald. Michael McDonald, not to be confused with not that Michael McDonald. Okay, not the singer
and I'm
one.
sure they've never heard it. As someone with the last name Jagger, let me tell you, I bet Michael McDonald's never heard that before.
He's probably the first time.
Do you know who Scott's talking about, John?
You know who it is, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
do you not
Michael
know, Bo?
McDonald?
Yeah.
No.
Way back in the long ago. You don't know who that is?
No.
I mean, to be fair, it's not like you're spot on. You're doing a pretty good impression, but it's not like you're singing the actual song very well.
Yeah.
I'm just. I'm Googling now, and I'm still. I think it's just me. I just think probably I don't know this person.
I'm going to show you this guy. He is known.
It's the Mad TV guy, apparently.
No, there is that guy too. Oh, you know who? No, Michael McDonald's a singer. So in his heyday, he looked like this. I'll put this up for everyone to see. You guys can see it on the screen. This is him right here. Now, what's a song you would know? You would know him from.
It's funny. The first result is like Rick Beato, who's like a pretty popular rock producer who does vlogs on YouTube.
Is he Canadian?
And it's like the voice that defined a generation. I'm like, I've never heard of this. Define what generation?
This is like when
Wait,
you guys.
Who's the second guy?
Give
me the most
guy?
iconic song. What's his most iconic song?
That's him when he was younger. So that's.
It's like you
guy.
found a devil and an angel.
A little bit, right? They look like they're both on your shoulders trying to talk you in or out of something, for sure.
Yeah, one would be like, talk more about controversial topics.
Is it one of those guys?
Come on now, we're just here to talk about video games and have fun.
Is it one of those guys the CEO of Twitch?
I mean, it looks like him a little. Hair's a little too short. He's much older now, too. He's older than this. But
all right, the first result is I keep forgetting.
Well, do you know the Doobie Brothers? Because he was originally one of them. He's one of the Doobies.
I've heard of the Doobie Brothers, but I've never really listened to them.
Taking it to the streets. Taking it to the streets. You know that one?
No.
All right. How about?
I think this is just one that's gonna miss me. I can't know every pop culture reference. It's okay.
How about this one? Let's see. No, it's James Ingram.
We did say middle-aged podcast, so yeah.
Well, I mean this is more like my
this is
mom's
the most middle-aged conversation we've had on the show.
This is more like my mom's era. This really wasn't me. I wasn't into this dude at all, but my mom.
No, that's fine. Even if,
I know it from my dad for sure.
Yeah.
Like to me, my dad loved Bruce Springsteen. That's why I know who that guy is and listened to a ton of it, not because I did.
Okay, how about this one?
So I get it.
How about this song? I want to sing it. Nope, I don't know that one. Well, I guess I'm
just
not.
Give me a link or a title. I'll look it up.
On My Own. He did a duet with On My Own with Patti LaBelle. Okay, or Ain't No Mountain High Enough. He did a version of that.
I know Ain't No Mountain High Enough.
Ain't no mountain high enough. Right?
See, there you go. That was a good impression, and you knew the song.
I can't play it because we'll get kicked off YouTube, but you'd hear it and go, oh, yeah, of course.
Man, he's got quite the voice, eh?
Yeah, it's a weird, like, kind of thing he does. It's like,
I'm sure, those, like, radio stations that would play, like, 80s hits?
Sure.
Like, even in the 90s and 2000s. Like, I've listened to enough of those, I've probably listened to Mike McDonald if he's, like, that sort of mainstream.
Yeah. The one from Mad TV is the one that would always go, he's Stewart. I can do it. Look what I can do. That guy. He's great.
Yeah.
It's another
I thought he was the guy who sang the song in Teen Titans Go to the Movie, The Tiger, but no, that was Michael Bolton. My
bad. Well, similar era though, right? Similar vibe. They're both yacht rockers, so whatever that means.
Yacht rockers.
Did you ever see that movie, Scott? Teen Titans Go to the Movie?
No, I wanted to. I heard it was great.
You should watch it. Michael Bolton plays a singing tiger, and they accidentally run over him with their car.
That's great.
And then when he's laying there crumpled in the street, Cyborg goes, I think his dad's a cop, and they just run as fast as they can to get away.
I'm all in. I don't know why it took so long to see that.
So stupid.
I'm going to watch it. I like the cartoon a lot. Anyway, our winner is Michael McDonald, not the singer. And here's what he said, by the way, in his messaging when he applied for this. And he was pulled at random. There's no special reason why he won other than he was random. But I want to thank the thousands of you who entered. Good Lord. You guys got excited about this one. Anyway, he says, this show gets better and better. Some might complain that you don't give enough console gaming a fair shake, but I think they miss the greater point of the fun that is gaming and how it's supposed to be. We as the audience feel the fun that you have with gaming and get to go and have our own. I don't care if Scott ever finishes Ghost of Tsushima. I also don't care about WoW rating. But I do enjoy the conversation around mutual enjoyment of video games. Cheers, he says. It's nice.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
And that's a nice way of putting it, because sometimes we do feel bad that we're definitely not emotionless creatures that are like, consoles are for babies. Goodbye. We're like, no, we like our consoles. We're just not playing them.
He's not playing them that often. Although it sounds like John, from what I'm reading ahead here, he might be.
I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
Well, technically, Steam Deck is a console, and you guys every episode are like, I played this on my Steam Deck, so
that's
there's
true.
also that.
I do play it. I play,
and the VR headset is a console, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, right. It's
right.
Just
so really, it's just me.
Yeah, it's just John.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, but I didn't want to say.
Are you? Is this a spoiler for something ahead? I haven't looked ahead to his list, but are you happy about Final Fantasy 14 being on cell phones now?
Oh, we'll get to it.
We'll get
we're getting to it. Okay, sneak preview for everybody.
Yeah,
it's in there.
It will be addressed. There's an addressing that's going to happen.
Funny enough, one of us might be excited about it. It's not John, I don't think, but we'll find out. I don't want to spoil anything. Anyway, that's all coming up. But let's talk first about this. And congratulations, Michael. I'll be reaching out to you with your winnings.
Yeah, congrats, Michael, on a great career.
Yeah, and you're taking it to the streets. And also, big thanks to why did I say Jocelyn?
Yep.
Jules is what I meant, over at Glorious Gaming. Thank you so much for letting us do that. Here's our big topic of the week: Game Award nominees. They've been named. It's also, as you might expect, sparked a lot of debate in our Discord, social media stuff. Every year this happens.
Every year, Jeff Keighley fucks up.
Every year he does something that somebody doesn't agree with, and this year is no different, I suppose. I don't know if it's his fault.
Yeah.
But, here are your categories, and I think we can go through some of these. Maybe even we could vote on our own while we're at it. You guys want to do that while we're doing?
We want to vote.
Oh, okay. I got to sign in. I just have to remember my password.
Yeah, I think we did.
Google.
Good. Yeah.
Oh, Google. I can just Google login.
I'll
just do that.
Google it.
Yeah,
man, 2024 is so awesome. I can just log in using my Google. It's so great.
Look, there it is. Although it doesn't really do this in a content favorable way because it opens with Game of the Year and come on, save that for the end. What are we doing?
Yeah.
Well, you starting with the banger. Work up to it. Start with Content Creator of the Year and go from there.
So I'm going to pull up this just so it's showing one of us showing.
Oh yeah, we can sync with you. Yeah.
All right, so we've got I'll continue as me.
I love that photo of you, by the way. The high on the forehead.
It's also burned into your head.
There's also
like an unfortunate sunburn.
Yeah, it's actually very burned on I meant to make it look
like you left your head above a toaster while it was cooking toast.
Yeah.
It looks like a 3 from like a Warcraft 3, but there's a little line between the. I don't know. I guess the word high always looks like that. I don't know why I'm remarking about it now. Anyway, that was my happy weight. That's about 20 pounds ago. I need to get back there. Anyway, continue. Game of the Year, that's the first one they give you. That is weird.
The first category, and spoilers for our future show, but barring any surprises before the end of the year or changes of opinion, my Game of the Year is actually listed here. So this is the easy vote for me.
Yeah, Metaphor I haven't even played Metaphor yet, but I think I'm voting for it based on your review of it. I know that sounds like a weird thing to do if I haven't played it, but I just have a feeling this thing is as good as everyone says because it's all anyone talks about. Like the next $70 I have, I'm
really good.
I'm getting this game. I think I need it. Anyway, Astrobot Balatro, which is cool to see on this list. I think that's awesome. It did take a lot of people by storm. Black Myth Wukong, Elden Ring Shadow of the Erd Tree, and Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and of course Metaphor Fantasio.
Go ahead. The only thing controversial about this list is Helldivers 2 isn't on it.
That's true. It's not. That was last year though.
No, that's this year.
Was it this year?
It was a phenomenon. It still is a phenomenon.
I thought it came out last year. What's wrong with me?
February-ish. It was early, so we always forget the early ones.
Oh my gosh, the fact that's not on here is a little weird.
Well, much as Bo is pointing out a potentially accurate controversy, the big controversy, I don't know if we want to talk about it now while we voted on this.
That's fine.
Is the debate on whether Elden Ring Shadow of the Erd Tree belongs on here as it is an expansion or DLC. And should that be considered for Game of the Year?
The answer is no. They should take that off and replace it. As good as it is, take it off and replace it with Helldivers.
This is From Software bias because they really like From Software games and want an excuse to put on the list because there will never be any other expansions except for From Software games.
Yeah.
Where's the War Within?
Yeah.
I'm happy to dissent from you guys. I think it's fine that it's here.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to burn down a forest because of it. You know what I mean?
No. I'll tell you why I think it's fine. No. So, okay. First of all, do I think that there should be a best expansion or DLC category? Yeah. I think that would be better. Ultimately, yes. I think there are better ways you could do it. But within the grounds of hey, can you take an expansion? To me, my criteria is this.
Yeah.
Am I able to look at the expansion, whatever it is for whatever game, and judge it purely as its own individual thing and have that be a complete experience that stands Game of the Year? So can I consider Shadow of the Erd Tree in this case? Can I judge that purely as Shadow of the Erd Tree and consider that content by itself without the other stuff that was Elden Ring? Can I consider that one of the best games of the year? in this case, yeah, I actually think you can. Again, you can debate whether what belongs on this list or not, but I think there's enough content, isolated content, and it's expansive enough that to me it could fit there.
But
if it were up to me, I probably wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
When we get to the end of the year and I do my list, I'm kind of debating this myself, but I probably am going to do expansion and DLC separate. Because I want to talk about more video games. I'd rather recognize more video games, and that's an easy way to do it.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, though, like, this is whoever makes the list, they can decide the rules. Like, people are trying to figure this out. Like, we need to solve this. And I guess if you're going to do the video game awards and you want to be the sole video game awards, like, then yeah, maybe you do need to consider it a little bit. But this to me is like, well, it's your list. You can put on whatever you want. You can put in a game from last year if you want. Who cares? It's just fun,
crazy. Like,
fun and awards.
Yeah.
It's just crazy that like I said, it's taking up a spot for Helldivers potentially, and if this thing wins, or even that it's here, I feel like robbing Phantom Liberty, which, having played both expansions, I would give flowers to Phantom Liberty over Shadow of the Erdtree, even though I like them both very much and don't want to, pick between children,
Sure, I think Phantom Liberty was great, but to what I said earlier, Phantom Liberty is very closely tied to the overall Cyberpunk story. Like, it is very self-contained, but your reasons for going, your purposes for being there, the conclusion of what you do there is all stuff that is tied in the base level Cyberpunk game. And to me, it's not as easy to cut Phantom Liberty and go, okay, I'm going to judge it just on the merits of the expansion.
Mm-hmm.
You can actually do that with Shadow of the Erdtree. I don't think you can really do that as easily with Phantom Liberty.
They're both extra content in a base game,
And likewise, I think you can also do that with World of Warcraft. I think you could do that with Final Fantasy.
Yeah, why is Dawntrail not in here?
It wasn't. I mean, Dawntrail shouldn't be on here, but
okay. But I mean, there was a good Final Fantasy expansion. Now that one got robbed for Game of the Year because whether it's Endwalker or whichever one, there's potentially. I think they made a mistake doing this.
I don't know.
I agree with your first thing saying like there should be a category for expansion content. Yeah.
I also think they could potentially recognize more than 6 games.
And there should be a content for best microtransaction because I think that Brontor in World of Warcraft would win it this year.
It's certainly the biggest.
They love spending that $90 on the map, or $128 Canadian. We have a housing crisis in my country. Okay, stop selling mounts for $128.
Oh my gosh, you have a housing crisis? Like housing's too much and there isn't enough?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Yeah, there's people spending thousands of dollars on rent for like one bedroom. It's crazy.
Yeah, we're not that different.
So it's like, anyways. That was meant to be a joke, not a diatribe into financial stuff. I don't really know that stuff.
No.
So what are we voting for now that we got all that out of our system?
Well, do we have a rule that we have to have played a thing to vote for it?
No, because it's not that serious.
No, because who cares?
Because we could say like, well, it's voting like this that got X and X elected or whatever it is, But it's just we're video games. It's for a night of good time.
All right,
it's not like our vote is impacting the awards. Like,
if you're nominated, it's recognition that you're a really great game. So
my gut says Balatro is a game I'd still play. I'd love that game, but
I think Balatro should win as well because I
like underdogs.
For a game I didn't play, I've heard so much of that game so consistently for the entire year that Balatro I think probably is the winner.
It's the bomb, but I have to do this metaphor game. That's just too much.
But what about Cloud? Cloud's a handsome.
Oh, he's all right, but this is got all the. This is where it's at right here. Look at this.
I mean, if I vote logically, it's Balatro. If I vote with my heart, it's Final Fantasy Rebirth.
Well, your heart.
I'm gonna do logically. It's Balatro, even though I hate the game.
Okay, so you voted for a game you hated. Scott voted for a game he hasn't played, and I voted for my game of the year.
Yeah, which is you'll say all the three of us pick the same game.
Yep.
All right, so on this next one is art or best game direction. We've got Astrobot. I have a feeling I'll be playing that sooner than later because I'm tired of all the buzz. I need to play it.
Is this the same list?
It is
basically the same. On this one, I'm going to vote for Balatro because it's the only one I know, and I really like the game direction in that.
This is one where I can vote for Shadow of the Erdtree because I think I played it and it's fantastic. And
it's good direction, right?
Yes, it's good direction.
Which is what the category is all about.
What would I...
What do I know about game direction?
What, John? What'd you say?
I'm having a hard time with
is this a hard one?
I think I'm kind of inclined to give it to Shadow of the Erdtree too.
All right.
Honestly. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to give it to.
I lean indie, so it's normal for me. But
Elden Ring is like maximum vibes, right? Like if you think of any of these games, this is like the most. Maybe Astrobot's got a vibe to it too, but definitely.
I mean, Wukong was really a strong contender for me for that one, but like Balatro also was, but I've read too many interviews with the guy who made Balatro, and he seems positively baffled by how popular it is for me to give it best game direction. He's like, I don't know, crazy.
He's got lucky. I don't know.
Wouldn't it be funny if he's like, there's one guy who understands how I feel about my game, and that's Bo, who hates it. I don't know what
he gets me. He understands me. All right, well, let's try Best Narrative. And Best Narrative, we got your Rebirth. You got your Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. We have Refantasio again, Senu's Saga, Hellblade 2, and Silent Hill 2, which, we got to find time to keep going on that, John.
I wish I played more of these. You did play both Infinite Wealth and Metaphor, John. Which did you like better?
I'm going to give it to Metaphor. Yeah, it's one of the best video game narratives I've played in a while. It's I mean, again, they called it Metaphor. It's on the nose, but it's so easy to draw parallels to our own world, and like it is just timely and just really interesting. So.
I'm a simple man. I see my husband Kiryu Kazuma, and I vote for.
Well, you committed to him for better or for worse, right? That concludes this. So I appreciate where you're at. Best art direction, Astrobot really cleaning up here. Black Myth Wukong is on here again. Elden Ring Erdtree on here again. Big question whether that should.
And Neva, I didn't hear about, and I watched it when we announced these, and it looks amazing.
Yeah, it looked neat. I haven't played it, so I have no reference for it. Actually, for this
Elden Ring these are all good. Like voting for one of these is a crime.
I'm going Wukong.
I'm going to give this one to Wukong.
Same. What I've seen of that game, I haven't played it, but what I've seen has blown my mind. It is gorgeous.
Yeah, I mean, even from like the first stage where you're fighting on the clouds, and when you swing the staff, the clouds like swirl and displace. Like, it both has a great art style, but also it's technically really brilliant too. And this is like trying to walk the lines of like both good art and good, technical. Wukong did both.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I agree. John, Bo, any dissent? What are you voting for there?
No, I actually voted for Wukong too, because even though I haven't played it, all the trailers I've watched have been
they're amazing,
kind of mind-blowingly awesome. Even though, like I said, it's a crime to have to even pick from any of them. They all look incredible. It's a tough thing, but I think there's a lot of fresh ideas in Black Kong.
Woo Dick. That's the one. Black Kong Woo Dick. Best score in music. This is always a tricky one because they're all the video game music.
Final Fantasy VII is here, and it's the greatest music of all time. Like, really
is it though?
The other contenders,
is it?
Yes.
I'm kind of like. So Metaphor is the one that I've spent the most time with, and I will say that I liked the score, but there were times where I was like, I'm kind of getting sick of hearing this song. So I wouldn't give it my favorite score of the year for just that reason. What I played of Stellar Blade seemed good. What I've heard of Silent Hill seemed good, but it seemed very minimal. I haven't played Astrobot. I haven't played Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, but I do know Final Fantasy music, and I'm not gonna not vote for it. So yeah, I'm going Final Fantasy VII.
You know what this list has actually really affected me is the Stellar Blade nomination. Because everyone's always talking about how much cloth are up on her boobies. That's like always the controversy with this game.
Yeah.
No one really has talked about this game as like a banger in terms of music.
I haven't heard music about it at all.
So I'm like listening to some now, and it's like it seems like it's actually pretty good. it like makes me interested to want to play the game now. I'm like, oh wait, this has a killer soundtrack.
It's coming to PC, so you and your PC elitist thing, you can do it there. You can play it there.
Like I'm listening to it. It looks like it sounds like it could be really good. So I'm sad not to be able to vote for it because I liked it.
You can vote for it.
Metaphor? Was Metaphor?
Well, he was just saying.
I liked the music, but there were times where I was like, I'm kind of sick of hearing this.
Yeah.
And if you notice it that much and you're like, I'm kind of sick of hearing this, then it's...
All right. It's Final Fantasy VII. You know, you can't put like the greatest soundtrack of all time up against other ones and expect anything else to win. Sorry.
Well, then you guys get one of these.
There. Yeah, you just proved our vote.
I guess like you're not in the cult, Scott, but like it really is...
I'm voting for Astrobot. Astrobot. That's where I did it.
It's a hate vote.
It is kind of not. It's not a hate vote, and I really do like Final Fantasy music, some of it anyway. But it doesn't resonate for me the way it does for some. So, what I've heard of the Astrobot music, which I did have in the background the other day, just while I was getting work done, it's very, very good. Very different, but very good.
I believe it, man. That's the game I have the most FOMO about. We were talking about the core chat, like.
I know.
When I think about a game, I'm not like I own plenty, but I'm like I own them. I can play them sometime, but like I don't own it and not playing it. I'm like I feel like I'm missing a boat here.
Yeah,
Astrobot.
I gotta play it. I will play it at some point. I wish maybe that'll come to PC. Probably not. It feels like a PlayStation.
I mean, it's in every category, right? It shouldn't work. It's the whole notion is that it's like a market. You know what I mean? It's like it
feels like a commercial.
It's play as your favorite McDonald's burger. You know, like it's like what? Like you know, play as it's not.
I love that it's not. I love that it's not Hamburglar or what's the purple guy? I can't think of his name.
The Grimace.
Grimace. Yeah. But you're like, just play as your favorite hamburger. I love that.
Right, because he's like a console boy or whatever. Like it's just like this. I shouldn't be wanting to play this, and yet everyone's raving about it. It looks amazing.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
The hard mode, like speedrun stuff I've been watching in that game. Crazy what people are doing with it. It seems like there's just more meat on those bones than we give it credit for. So obviously it's nominated a bunch. Next up, we have Best Audio Design. That game's again here, Astrobot. We have Call of Duty Black Ops 6, Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, Senua's Blade, Hellblade 2, or Senua's Saga, Hellblade 2, and Silent Hill 2. I'm
giving it to Silent Hill.
Yeah, I'm inclined to go that direction as well. Partly because I'm playing this game, but also because it's really good at sound so far. Like little stuff too. So I'm voting for that.
I didn't play any of them, so it's hard to. I'm just voting for Final Fantasy VII, obviously.
We have ladies and a man. All ladies and one man. Best performance awarded to an individual or voice acting person, motion and or performance capture. It's the whole schmear. So we got Brianna White for Final Fantasy Rebirth, 7 Rebirth.
She's Aerith.
Aerith. Oh, okay.
Yep.
All right.
Aerith.
Don't search her in Rule 34. Don't do that. Hannah Tell, whatever it is. Life
maybe.
is Strange, Double Exposure, which I have been hearing amazing things about that game. Like they really got it. Anyway, I don't know if she's part of the reason it's so good, but I'm hearing really good things about it. Humberly Gonzalez, or would you say Humberly? I don't know.
I think Humberly's right.
Is it? Okay. She's
it's like Kimberly, but Humberly, you know?
Star Wars Outlaws main protagonist. I think she's very good in there. Luke Roberts in Silent Hill 2. He's your protagonist. Plays Temu version of the guy from Resident Evil 4, Leon Kennedy.
Temu Leon.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then we got Melina Juergens, who was, here it is, Senua's Saga, Hellblade 2. She did everything. Voice, mocap, action, all of it.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it to her. I really like Brianna White. She streams and stuff, and I knew her as a streamer before I even realized she was the voice of Aerith. But yeah, I feel like Melina, like that whole game is based on her performance. How do you not recognize that?
I think you give it to her. Also,
I watched her act in VR in the first one. It was pretty good.
It's Bo's favorite lotion, Juergens. Right, so you got to vote for that as well. I don't know if you like to be nice and moisturized, or what your plans are.
Now you made it awkward. If I ever meet her.
Well, lotion is good for your skin. Babies use it. It's fine. Moving on. What's next? We got innovation and accessibility. was just talking to somebody about this. What was the thing I was talking about?
So Dragon Age, it does fall under this window of being able to win. So it didn't get hit with anything.
Yeah,
no.
It didn't deserve it.
Recognizing software and/or hardware that is pushing the medium forward.
I'm not disagreeing. I just you really channeled your Sith Lord when you said it. You're like, it didn't deserve it.
I'm giving this Black Ops 6, Veilguard, Prince of Persia, the side scroller, and Star Wars Outlaws are on here, but I think I'm giving it to Diablo 4, and the reason I am is they really made it simple for me to play it wherever I want, however I want. For me, it's just controller, which is in itself an accessibility thing, but not quite what they mean here. But they have tons of features for color stuff and for outlining enemies so you can see them better. Like they really go far for visual and control impaired on that game, and I appreciate it. WoW's got a lot more like that in there too. Blizzard in general seems to be doing this, so I'm voting for Diablo 4.
I wish they would say what the games did so that we could at least have some idea, because the truth is unless you've had to rely on these features, which is wonderful, you probably don't know what they are. I'm giving it to Diablo 4 because it's the only one I've used an accessibility mode for, which is the high contrast, which I think makes the game actually look better. So I'm giving it to Diablo 4 because it's the only one I actually messed with. I'd like to do a more informed vote on that, but the truth is I don't know what any of these games did for it. I wish they would say it.
Yeah, that would be nice. Bo, you have a preference on there?
On the accessibility?
Yeah.
No. I mean, I don't use them, so it's hard for me to... This is a hard one for me to judge, where it's like, what do I know about...
I mean, I guess this is a good place for us to say we may not have the ins and outs of every game in this list, but I just think the general move toward this in the industry is a very, very good thing. And I'm really
it's always weird when I go back and play something old and it doesn't even have like closed captions,
Yeah, it's very strange. Although I don't like games that don't like the names I name my characters. If I want to name my little adventurer, his name is Chode, then I'm naming him Chode. You can't tell me I can't use Chode. All right? Quit doing that.
Which game told you can't use Chode?
Something I played recently, some kind of adventure game, and I'm like, don't make me go back to the 16-bit era and call everything Chode. I'll do it. He's not. His name isn't Link. Chode's going to say Princess Zelda, not Link. That's how it works.
It's the Legend of Chode.
Legend of Chode. All right, games for impact.
It's Legend of Zelda, a Chode to the past.
A Chode to the past. A Chode in your past. No, wait, a link between Chodes.
Majora's Chode.
Yeah, Majora's Chode. Ocarina of Chode. Anyway.
Twilight Chode.
Twilight Chode is pretty good. All right, games for impact. Thought-provoking games with pro-social meaning or message. They have Closer the Distance. Indica, which I always intrigued me looking at it. I don't know what it is, but just looking at that image, so weird. This Neva thing that Bo is talking about. Neva. Life is Strange, Double Exposure, and Senua's Sacrifice again on here. Senua's Saga, Hellblade 2. Hellblade 2, Senua's Saga. They moved it around. Senua's Saga.
No, you literally just have to read it. That's all you got to do.
I've got bad, what do you call that? Dyslexia with that title. I want Hellblade 2 in front. That's weird. Anyway, or Tales of Kenzera Zhao, which I thought was cool. I played this game.
I played that game. It's going to get my vote because it's the one I played, and it was awesome. I really liked that game.
Same. I'm picking that one. I really liked it. And I had the guy. It has the guy from. He's Bayek from Assassin's Creed Origins. The voice of this good dude. I love him.
I will say Indica was a very confusing thing for me to look at because I thought it was going to be about smoking weed.
Sentiva's the one you want to avoid. That one will F you up.
I was like, oh, Indica. I like Indicas. And then I was like, what's with all the nuns?
Indica will put you out.
Have I smoked already? What happened?
A few listeners were with me in Vegas when I took a Sentiva gummy, and that was a huge mistake. Oh, my gosh.
Tales of Kenzera Zhao. We'll vote for that one.
Best ongoing. Awarded to a game for outstanding development on ongoing content that involves the player's experience over time. Destiny 2 is on here, Diablo 4, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, and Helldivers 2. I feel like voting for Helldivers 2 because it seems like the only place that got it, although maybe there's...
It's the game of the year, and I can't vote for it in the game of the year, so I'm going to vote for it here.
I'm tempted on Diablo 4 because I think this expansion's pretty strong despite not everyone not loving where the story ended up, I really do like this expansion. But of these,
I voted for Final Fantasy 14.
Of course you did. And you should. I don't think that's a wrong thing for you to do.
Honestly, I think Fortnite remains probably the correct answer to this. But I haven't played any of their new seasons. So whereas the newest patch for Final Fantasy 14 was awesome. So.
I'm here to kill chaos.
Yep.
That's right. Yep. I killed it. I killed it with my vote.
I think I'll vote.
Bullshit.
Bullshit.
Bo, you voted Helldivers?
Of course, because I'm voting for. And if I see Helldivers, it's getting a vote. Because
how
it's not on the
did
game
Bo
of the year
never
list.
play that game? That feels like a game that was made for Bo.
Which one?
I was curious about it, but
in Paradise,
yeah.
the Final
kind of got
Fantasy
shat on.
Chaos game.
Kind of got shat on early, and I sort of avoided it. But yeah,
might be fun to go back to. Check it out now.
It feels like a Bo game. Bullshit.
Best community support: Baldur's Gate 3, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, Helldivers 2, and No Man's Sky. I'm always tempted to give this to No Man's Sky, but
I mean, No Man's Sky. I feel like No Man's Sky and Baldur's Gate 3 deserve it.
They'll be there in future years, and Baldur's Gate had its year. I don't, it's still good what they're doing, but it's.
I'm giving it to Baldur's Gate 3.
Giving it to No Man's Sky. I think this because No Man's Sky will keep going and keep going.
Helldivers here.
Yeah, but Helldivers is just like, oh, they did a patch.
Helldivers pissed people off for half the year.
Yeah.
But they reverted and fixed my railgun.
Yeah, but it took them almost a whole year to do it.
Yeah. I know. But here's the thing. No Man's Sky is going to be there next year, so I'm not worried about it. They don't need to win it this year.
Yeah.
And Baldur's Gate's like, they've gotten a lot of awards. Like, yes, they're doing patches and it's great, but like for an award, no.
Did you all hear the news story that there are more consecutive logins to Baldur's Gate 3 this year than there were last year?
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's up, and they said it's because of mod support getting added to the game.
Did they have a sale or something? Maybe that was part of it. Oh.
No, it's just
it's a really good video game.
Yeah, it turns out it's still pretty good, and they added mod support, and that got a bunch of people to play.
Like, I know it's evangelizing.
Wow. Keep going. I like this. I like where this is going.
I can't say evangelize.
I think you just invented a new word, evangelizing a
game.
You mean evangelize is what you mean. Evangelize.
Thank you. I needed someone to say it. So, why did I lose that word?
I don't know. Pizza.
Anyways,
2 o'clock pizza.
I know it's annoying when people evangelize a game.
Nope.
Still wrong. Evangelize the game.
There you go. Got it.
I know it makes it annoying, but like Baldur's Gate 3 is seriously like a realm beyond other games. Like. You will not get the graphical fidelity and the experience.
No, they're making other games suffer.
Of that game in that one. They're making another one, but like there's no competing studio.
No. But that's what I'm saying is back when we were talking about this game the first time or when it first came out in 2023, there was all this news around it that other studios were saying, well, don't expect this from our thing or don't. And then just pundits were saying, don't expect this from other games. And I kind of scoffed at that. I'm like, oh, come on, you guys. Everything advances. It's fine. They were right. Like,
yeah, no, they, yeah.
It's literally the definition of raising the bar. It's like way up there now. How are you going to beat that?
I mean, I think they raised it beyond whatever AAA is capable of doing because AAA products eventually have to get out the window. And Baldur's Gate 3 is like Star Citizen gone right.
Yeah.
Basically,
in that I could buy it.
We got showered in money in early access,
and
released it. It might even. I don't think it was that one was kickstarted, but they have kickstarted. They've kickstarted a lot of their other games in the past, so they're used to working around this time frame of getting a cash infusion, and then doing good things with the money.
Yeah, spending it
Chris
well.
Roberts.
Yeah, Chris Roberts, you could learn a thing or two.
Maybe give Sven a phone call, find out how they're.
Maybe we'll still be surprised by how amazing that is at some point.
Maybe.
I mean, I don't feel that confident either. I'm just saying.
We'll be lucky if we get a good game out of it before the whole thing burns to the ground. That's sort of my assessment. But
I hope it works out. Here's your chance for best indie voting. We got Animal Well, amazing, played it. Balatro, played it, love it, amazing. Lorelei and the Laser Eyes, never heard of this. seems interesting from Annapurna.
I played bass for them in the.
Yeah, you were one of the Laser Eyes, right? Because she was the singer, and then
I was a Laser Eye, I was not Lorelei.
Yeah, like the Pips. Neva is on here again. I'm starting to feel like I'm missing out by not playing this. This is from the Grise people, right? I'm pretty sure that's them.
Oh yeah, Gris.
Is it just Gris? Whatever it is.
Well, if it's a French word, it's gris. You don't say the S at all, but I'm not sure if it's French or not.
And then finally, you have UFO 50, which John has played a ton of.
Yep.
I'm giving this to Balatro because I've played that the most, and that usually means I liked it the most, and I did.
Yeah.
I love this game.
I feel like this is obviously Balatro.
Yeah.
It's a juggernaut. It was a juggernaut of the indie world. So, which is the next category.
Oh, best debut in indie game.
Best indie game. Best indie. Oh, debut indie game. Okay. No, this is good because
you know what? I will
win this
do some variety. I'm gonna go Animal Well for this.
Yeah, same.
Balatro has its flowers. I think Animal Well is a nobody really expected it. They're like, oh, Donkey's studio is gonna make a game. What's it gonna be? And then they made something really unique and awesome. I'm gonna give that one to Animal.
And it's the thing's like a megabyte or something insane like that.
Yeah, the patches for it were hysterical.
Yeah, it's crazy. You know what? I'm voting for it too. And I also played it, so that makes me feel good about it. All right, there's that. Let's move on to best mobile game. This is John's favorite category.
Hey, normally this category is I didn't play it, I didn't touch it, I didn't install any of it. The one mobile game on my phone is on this list, so I have to vote for Balatro.
Balatro's on here.
Scott's favorite mobile game, AFK Journey.
AFK Journey's on here, dude.
I fist pumped when I saw AFK Journey. I'm like, Scott's gonna be stoked.
Yeah, I mean, I quit playing it, of course, but I hit the ding desert.
We underestimated how good of a game AFK Journey is.
It's a pretty good mobile. It's a pretty good one of those. Like, I think it's the only one of those I've really gotten sucked into. The kind of
I thought it was like a third-rate game you got sucked into.
Oh, it's pretty good.
Like, oh no, it seems to be. It's up here with the one I'm going to vote for.
Yeah,
Zenless Zone Zero, because I played a ton of it on my PC, and it's very bad, but also very good.
Well, I'm giving it to Ball.
It's by equal measures bad and good, and I enjoyed playing it. So
I feel like this next category is where Bo tells us what to vote for, and his fandom of VR earns him 3 votes as a result.
Oh, that's a good point. So, Bo, I know Batman's probably your year thing.
I haven't gotten around to Metro Awakening yet, so I feel a little bad, but I have such an enthusiasm for Arkham Shadow that it's no brainer. Arkham Shadow.
All right.
Okay, I'm voting for Arkham Shadow.
Arkham Shadow.
And who's mad about voting for Batman, even if you didn't play it? Who's
Nobody should.
Who's grumpy about voting for the Batman? Come on.
Best action game: Wukong, Black Myth Wukong, Call of Duty Black Ops 6. I have heard very good things about this Black Ops game. I know it's easy to dismiss it because it's every year and everything, but I've heard really good things.
It's a meme with us now. All the people who like Call of Duty listen to us have to suffer our abuse of that game.
And I like giving that abuse to Shanafan. He deserves it. But everybody else, you're fine. Just kidding, Shanafan.
Okay.
I know we love you.
He's got money to buy all the microtransactions.
That's right. Helldivers 2 is on here. Stellar Blade's on here, and Warhammer 40K Space Marine 2. I don't think there's any competition here.
I wish I.
Oh, you don't think there's any competition here?
I mean, I think Warhammer Space Marine 2 is the best single player of action I've had. But if I'm to say which one I've had the most fun with, it's when I'm playing this with people. So I'm torn.
I'm going to give it to Warhammer 40K Space Marine 2. Done. Did my vote.
I'll help John or Scott. I might make it harder or easier for you. I'm voting for Helldivers.
Damn. Well, I haven't played anything else.
I mean,
all right.
Did you see the clip of Crofton?
Oh, that was amazing.
Hacking into the wall, and the developers took enough time to be like, have an animation for what happens when you you hit a chest level and flip over a rock,
yeah,
so that your friends can laugh at you because you look like an idiot.
It is pretty great. I give you that. Yeah. But my 40K love goes deep. I'm clicking it.
Bribery, corruption.
Yeah,
I didn't even campaign. You did.
Yeah,
I just sat here quietly. I voted and was like, I'm done.
Yeah, no, you're John's right. It's just on its own.
I'm just saying. It's
if I could split my
I'm
vote,
just saying it just to be a jerk. It's not for laughs,
sure.
It's not serious.
But if I could have split my vote, I would have given half to each because I really like both those games a lot. All right, next up, best action adventure. Oh, look who's back! Astrobot here to remind
he's here
us
again. Yay!
Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. Quite enjoyed this. Silent Hill 2. Enjoying it so far. Outlaws. Kind of enjoying it. Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom. Haven't played. My guess is if I'd have played all these, I'd be going this new Zelda because all accounts are this is just awesome, and I love that point of view, like the chibi Link's Awakening vibe. I love it. So I will.
So I've only played 2 of these, and I've watched Scott play a third.
All right.
And with that additional knowledge, I'm going to vote for the game I haven't played, and I'm going to say Astrobot clearly deserves to win this.
I think Astrobot, there's something to the flowers. In Zelda, there's been thousands of Zeldas.
Yeah, damn it. I think you're right. We're voting for Astrobot.
I think we need to give PlayStation their flowers on this one.
Every time you vote for this, the Astrobot gets his wings, but also the cameo, or no, what was the game they had to cancel and shut down? Those people get claws and devil horns. Yeah, Concord.
Yeah.
Poor guys.
I just think, remember, like, you're not saying the other games suck when you vote for one. You're just saying, like, who's outstanding? Who stands out from this list of...
Although I will say Star Wars Outlaws had no business on that list.
Yeah.
So
Ubi corruption.
I did vote, and I did also say one of those sucked. So
but Ubi's not going to win anything this year. Their goodwill with the public is so in the toilet. They'll be a riot.
They're hurting pretty bad, yeah. How about best RPG? I already know where everyone's going to probably vote here, but we got Dragon's Dogma 2.
I know where my vote goes.
Elden Ring: Shadow of the Earth Tree, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Like a Dragon: Infinite Wealth, and Metaphor Refantasio. This one sounds like the winner to me, even though I played some of others. I think I still will vote.
Even though Infinite Wealth is the real winner. Yeah.
Yes. I haven't played it. Sure.
I mean, I love Infinite Wealth. It's hard for me to not vote for it. My game of the year is on the list, so I can't vote for it.
All right. Best fighting. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. John played it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the one I played. That's the one that's getting my vote.
Grand Blue Fantasy.
The first 3 look like the same game.
They kind of do. Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection Arcade Classics is getting my vote. I did play that. And then the last one was Tekken 8. Tekken 8, by all accounts, is very good. I don't know about this multiverse Cartoon Network thing. I'm sure it's...
Multiverse is shut down, or is that something else?
Multiverse
is shut down, and then they brought it back.
Yeah, it's back. It's back now. I think it's doing all right. I'm voting for this. This Marvel v. Capcom is one of my favorite series ever, so I'm doing that, even though it's old.
Second for me.
Best family game.
Who is the best family?
What is the best family right now?
Do you want to vote for the Smiths or the Joneses?
We got Astrobot back again. He's a threat continually. We got Princess Peach Showtime, Super Mario Party Jamboree, Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, and The Plucky Squire, which I know John played. I'm inclined to go Astrobot. All of these are...
I think I'm going to go Astrobot. I don't have a ton of knowledge of the Nintendo ones, so...
I'm just basing it on, Crofton's family time, your family time, like what I hear about.
Mm-hmm.
I think Astrobot's the winner.
Now, this next one's hard for me because I played 2 of these and really liked 2 of these. I played more than 2 of them. I played a little Frostpunk 2 and a little Manor Lords. But the 2 that really grabbed me, I don't know, maybe this will surprise people. Best Sim Strategy. It's the best game focused on real-time or turn-based strategy. Age of Mythology Retold, I think, is really freaking good and would highly recommend getting this. If you have Game Pass, you have no excuse. Just freaking get it. Great on Game Pass, too, by the way. Controller and everything. And then I played a ton of Unicorn Overlords on PS5. That game is very cool. I think that's where I got to put it.
I'm voting Unicorn Overlord because I haven't played any of these games, but that's the one I want to play.
Yeah, it's good. And if you're a Fire Emblem fan at all, that's the game. It's so good. It's fan-freaking-tastic.
Also, I just wish that company would get over themselves and put their games on PC.
I know, they're weird about it.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Cut it out. Just cut it out.
Cut it out and put it out.
On PC. It will be fine. You will be fine, I promise. You know what? And anytime you don't feel fine, just look at the extra money you made and feel better. That's it.
That's all.
Manor Lords for me.
How about this one? Oh, Manor Lords, right, because you have that. Right?
Mm-hmm.
You have that. Where did I play it?
Yep.
Oh, I played it, and then I returned it until they're done, and then I think I'll check it out again. I was just like, I have too many of these. I'm not gonna spend much time in it. But when it's
I still have yet to spend more time into it, but I do like it. Yeah, I love my city builders, and that's the best one out of that list.
Best sports and racing. Funny enough, only has one racing game, and also there were some other racing games I would have put in here. However, excuse me, we have this is not really a category for us, but F1 24, EA Sports FC 25, which used to be the FIFA series, NBA 2K25 from 2K, and Top Spin 2K25, as well as WWE 2K24. I've played 2 of these. I played in the NBA game, and I played Top Spin. Barely any Top Spin, though. I like tennis games, and I'll probably get back to it. I played a lot
People say it's the game that killed Frog Wrestling. No,
it's not.
I killed Frog Wrestling. It was me. WWE 2K24 is great.
Right.
It was a lot of unexpected work at a time where free time went away.
Yeah.
No import option for your customized wrestlers, I guess.
No, that is bunk, but that's a
Lame.
very specific need, I think, for me.
There's not many people running an entire TV show. Like most people make a few custom wrestlers and have a good time. And John was running an entire television production.
Yeah.
And it's like, here's your new game. And he's like, I've got to do pre-production on a new TV series. Like,
Yeah.
No wonder, dude. Like, it's, yeah.
Had John gone
It might come back. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. But if you had gone balls out on 2K4, I would be giving that the adjacent vote because I, support that awesome thing you were doing. However, NBA 2K25 was pretty damn good if you like basketball, so I'm voting for that.
I did wrestling. That won't surprise me.
Yeah.
This is so hard. What should I vote? This is like the VR vote, like sports games.
What do you like?
Vote wrestling because you were one of the people I made in wrestling.
Yeah.
Thank you, John. Perfect.
There's also a racing indie game came out that was called Old School Rally Racing, and it basically plays like a PS1 rally game, and I love it.
Oh.
But it's not going to be on here. Those guys don't get the recognition they deserve.
The next one's easy.
Best multiplayer.
Easy one.
Black Ops 6, Helldivers 2, Super Mario Party Jamboree, and Tekken 8. It's Helldivers 2.
Already voted.
Oh, whoops.
Helldivers 2. Easy.
It has to be held. There's no game that pumps out democratic horns while you're riding a giant bullet into the atmosphere of a planet with your buddies.
Yeah, name a better one. You can't.
And then you land on your friend and kill him.
Wait, well, let's get I mean, that music alone is worth getting him back in there for. It's so good.
I played, well, we'll talk about games we played. I played this week. Oh, it's so good. They've powered up the weapons. There's more weapons.
Crofton's flying around like an idiot. It's amazing. Get in there.
Yeah, well, we could talk about it during there, but he's not that good at the game.
No, I assume not.
I agree, though. That was the category. Like, I love Bo's adoration for that game. I don't love it as much as he does, but to me, that is the category that is absolutely the easiest win for Helldivers 2.
Yep, hands down. Best adaptation. This is like, TV movie, that sort of thing. We got Arcane, Fallout, Knuckles, Like a Dragon, Yakuza, and Tomb Raider, The Legend of Lara Croft. I've seen part of that. I can't wait to see more because I thought I liked what I saw.
You don't have to feel obligated to vote for Like a Dragon,
right? And I'm not. And I saw some of that, and it was okay. It was all right. Arcane.
Just okay.
I haven't seen the new season yet, but by all accounts, it even supersedes the first one. The first one is an all-timer for me, but they've gotten their due for that already in this category. So I'm voting for Fallout because that was genuinely awesome and had no right to be as good as it was. I loved Fallout, so I'm voting for Fallout.
I will say this, not that I'm voting for it before anybody panics. I watched half of an episode of Knuckles, and it made me laugh.
It's supposed to be good.
Oh,
it made me laugh. I thought it was genuinely kind of funny. Like, it's
heard good things.
Yeah, maybe it's just I like Idris Elba enough that, like, even when he's a red echidna, I'm like, he's still amazing. Yeah. No, I'm gonna give it to Fallout.
Okay.
Sorry, all the Arcane fans. I know you're going to be upset.
Arcane's fine. Look, Arcane got its first season win.
Arcane's getting my vote. It's all good.
Okay.
Good.
Yeah, Bo did it. It doesn't mean we don't like Arcane. I still think it's one of the greatest things ever to be made. But it already won this a couple years ago. All right. Most anticipated game. Death Stranding 2. On the Beach.
Who's anticipating walking on the beach?
Well, I hope it's... There's a lot of talk that there's more going on there. But who knows? Ghosts of what did we decide here? Yoda. Ghosts of Yoda. Sucker Punch's follow-up to Ghost of Tsushima. Very excited about that. Grand Theft Auto 6. Hopefully next year, we don't know. Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, which either next year or forget it. I don't know what they're doing. Or Monster Hunter Wilds. The one I'm the most excited about will make people give me shit. I don't care. I will eventually beat Tsushima, but I am looking forward to Ghost of Yoda more than any of these because those guys know.
But remember, I guess it's okay. This is one of those weird ones because I feel like if you were just to think about who they anticipated the most, by the mob, it's clearly GTA 6. Like,
easily.
If GTA 6 doesn't win this category, I don't know. I will call into question everything that exists.
You'll eat a horse booger on the air if it doesn't win. How about that?
No, because weird things happen sometimes. I'm not gonna look. Sometimes votes don't go the way you think they might go.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say that, but to me, it is blatantly obvious that Grand Theft Auto 6 is the winner of this. For me personally, it probably is Grand Theft Auto 6. Like, I think it's because I don't know enough. Like, I'm not a Death Stranding fan. I haven't played Ghost of Tsushima, although I think Ghosts of Yoda looks great. I love the Metroid Prime games, but I have no idea what Metroid Prime 4 Beyond is going to even look like or be like. Who knows if it's going to be any good or when it's coming out. And Monster Hunter Wilds also seems awesome, but I've yet to get too into a Monster Hunter, so Grand Theft Auto 6 for me.
All right. Bo, what do you think?
Yeah, same.
You like it? Okay. All right. Me and Yoda, the Ghost of Yoda, and I will have our day. Content Creator of the Year. I can't click past this fast enough, but let's go ahead and look what we got here.
Just
Queso. I don't know who these people are. Illiwan, Techno Gamers, Typical Gamer, and Usada Pecora, which I assume is a VTuber.
You can't win a Gamer Content Creator of the Year with the word gamer in your name. Especially like a typical gamer,
especially gamers with a Z. F that noise.
Yeah. Those two are out.
They're out. What do we like here?
The other two are just like one is looking kind of like a thirst trap. I don't know.
Yeah, and this guy looks like he might be one of us, right? He's at a Waffle House. His beard's a little unkempt.
I voted for Queso because Waffle House was in the background.
That's why I'm doing. He's getting my vote.
That's as good. I don't know any of them, so I don't know. I don't have any better criteria than that.
You should vote for Usada Pecora because it's a VTuber.
Yeah,
but I voted for Waffle House.
Yeah, Waffle House every time.
It's a good argument. I didn't have that line of reasoning when I was thinking about Queso, so
yeah. Ooh, queso sounds good. Like actual cheese queso. All right, now on to best esports game. Hey, guys, remember esports? That was a
Heroes of the Storm?
Counter-Strike 2, Dota 2, League of Legends, Mobile Legends, Bang Bang, or Valorant. Boy, not having having Overwatch not on this list for the first time since its launch must be a sting in your groin, right? In your groin. There's no way they're happy about this.
Nah, it feels like justice to me.
Well, I'm just picking my favorite out of this list in this league. Done.
Yeah, I'll give a vote to League. That'll make up for the fact that I didn't pick Arcane for Adaption.
I played more Bang Bang than any of these, so I'm picking that.
Yeah.
That is not shocking.
Were you waiting for a pizza or just...
I liked this. I thought this was fun. This is their mobile version of Legends, and it's fun. It's really a good time.
You get around so much. I would not have pegged you for playing Mobile Legends Bang Bang.
I played,
I don't know,
me and Patrick Beja had a bunch of Patrick Beja matches. It was fun. We had a good time.
Bang Bang with Beja?
Bang Bang Beja. Best esports athlete. Oh my gosh, I don't know these people at all.
Just go Faker.
Yeah, I know Faker. That's the only one I know, so it got my vote.
All right.
I've been watching that. There's no there are no StarCraft 2 esports guys on here, which seems like a crime to me.
What's Faker do? What's his deal?
He's a League of Legends
guy.
Okay.
I don't follow this stuff.
And he's pretty insane. Like it's kind of it's not even a controversy.
If I know them, despite not following any of them, then they must be okay. So I voted Faker.
All right. Yeah. How about
pretty much up to Michael Jordan status for League
for esports? All right.
Yeah.
Esports team. It's kind of an extension of that. We got Billy Gaming. We got Gen G. We got Navi, T1, which is a real fast internet connection in 1997. And then finally, Team Liquid. It's the only one I know, so I'm voting for Team Liquid. That's just how it's going to be. I'm voting like a regular voter during an election. I think I know that name. I'll vote for it.
Scott, NALOL. You can't like a North American team. They're all bad. They're just here. They're just here to like have represenation.
But look, he's holding up like that's probably a second place trophy he's holding up. I don't know what he's holding up.
No.
It's not even a thing.
It's a second place trophy.
What is this? Oh, is this it? 3 rounds, 3 chances to vote. Oh, you can come back and vote again later for the same shit, right?
I don't know.
I don't know what this is. Hold on, hit next. Nothing. This is it. This is the end of it. Did you guys get to the end? Is that at the end for you?
Oh, this is a player's choice. Okay, so that's what the category is going to be: is player's voice.
Player's voice.
On
player's
December
choice.
2nd, there's going to be 30 nominees that you pick 10 games for.
Okay.
And then on December 5th, there's going to be the top 10 of those top 30. You're going to vote for 5 of them. And then on December 9th, there's going to be 5, and you vote for your top game. So this is going to be how the players, there's going to be all votes. Because I believe the way it works, if I remember from past Keeleys, is that the votes we just did make up a very small percentage of push for things based on the judge panel that does the voting.
Right.
So we can nudge it, but we don't really have any impact. So they have this player's voice category, which is purely like, hey, we handed you plebeians a microphone. This is what you get to do with it.
Yeah.
And so like Sonic wins or something. Like
That's right. It's
Remember,
always a
like we're
meme
building up a lot of hype, but we have spent more time discussing it than the actual Game Awards will spend time on this.
Oh yeah,
it'll be 20 minutes of ads followed by, and the winner of esports is this game, and the winner of the multiplayer is this, and the winner of this is this, and the winner of this. Good night.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
So
here comes Kojima. Yeah. We paid him again. He's here, and then I know what you mean.
Kojima was on the toilet and thought he had an idea for a game, so we're gonna give him the floor for 10 minutes to talk about his idea.
Yeah. Do we have the date for this yet? Because we'll probably try to cover this live if we can. It comes out. Let's see. Where's the news?
Must be December, right?
It's got to be next month, right? Oh, Keely's starting to look like my
December
accountant.
12th. December 12th. So it's in 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Today.
All right. We're going to make an attempt.
At the Peacock Theater in Los Angeles.
I will not be there live. So it's just how that
But you could be. You guys are, who's closer, you or John?
Probably John, I think, to LA.
Yeah.
You could go live and say hi to Matt Keeley.
Yeah.
Nope, not his name, but maybe his brother Matt will be there, and I can say hi to him.
You know what's crazy? Live stream in 2014 when he first did this, 1.9 million people watched. It's a pretty good number. 2023, 118 million watched it last year.
Yeah.
Damn. That is a big jump.
People like it. People like an award show.
They sure do.
As much as they mostly grouse about it, because I'm sure we're not the only ones. They'll tune in and like it's like catnip.
Yep.
We like to make fun. We call it the Keeleys. We poke fun at Jeff, but like, it has been an event that has been receptive to criticism and tried to evolve from it. I think, and I think that's good.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think he genuinely wants to put on the best event he can.
Yeah,
and he's not an out of touch person with this stuff. As much as he can. He's of his generation, mine. He's still pretty boots on the ground with games.
Let's go back in time just briefly to 2023 and just tell you who the winners of the major 3 categories were. Game of the year went to Baldur's Gate 3. Best direction went to Alan Wake. So did narrative and art direction. John got a win for Final Fantasy 17.
Congratulations, John.
Sorry, 16. There was no 17.
Yep.
Hi-Fi Rush won a bunch of stuff and then immediately got canceled. Or not canceled, but that was the end of that. Let's see. Cyberpunk, best ongoing. And what was one of these controversial ones? Sea of Stars did real well for indie. Best mobile went to Honkai Star Rail. And finally...
Honker Star Rail.
What on VR? Oh, Resident Evil 4, Resident Evil Village VR mode won for VR last year, Bo. So there's that.
Yeah, all great games. Last year was good. That's why this year I had a real horse in that race. Not really, but I really wanted BG3 to win. And it did. And now that happened this year, I'm like just chilled out about the whole thing. I'm like, it's cool. We had our year,
Mm-hmm. Well, there it is.
If Black Myth Wukong wins, it's cool. I'm happy for all the nominees. Congratulations.
Yeah, and it's healthy. It's healthy for this industry to have a lot of people talking about.
I don't
these
even
games.
think Helldivers should be like winning awards. It should just be on a few more of the nomination lists, in my opinion. That's all.
Yeah, recognize it in more categories. I agree. I think art direction.
There's something fun about a year where I don't feel like it's obvious what should win too.
Yeah.
Like last year, we did kind of go like, yeah, but it's gonna be Baldur's Gate, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of fun when it's like, I don't know what's gonna win Game of the Year.
Yeah.
Could be Black Myth Wukong, could be Metaphor, could be Astrobot. Like I could see any of those. So
I think Metaphor is going to be
a little missing.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. You're good.
I just think probably War Within should have gotten a nod somewhere on here. I think.
Ongoing maybe. Or something.
Just like, I don't need it to win, but like it's a pretty good effort compared to previous ones, and people. I mean, I'm really enjoying it, and a lot of people are.
Yeah.
It's not just another bucket of slop at some well. It's actually pretty good.
Yeah, the game is in really good shape for this part of its life cycle compared to previous, and that includes years where it was nominated. So I don't know why it wasn't this year, but anyway, I agree with you. All right, let's move on then. We've talked about that. A couple other quick notes here in the news. Half-Life 2 got a really cool documentary to celebrate the 20-year anniversary of Half-Life 2, and they also re-released Half-Life 2. I want to say it was as low as 99 cents if you didn't already own it. If you already owned it,
yeah, something like that.
If you already had it, they now have baked into it episodes 1 and 2. They're no longer separate DLCs; they're just in the game, and the game got some texture bumps and some other technical bumps to make it even more playable. And I actually cracked it open, played a little bit. Half-Life 2, still awesome. It's such a great game.
Like your Quest 2 and play the VR mod. It's so good in VR.
I keep hearing that too. Yep. But anyway, they went ahead and released this documentary as well, and I haven't watched it yet, but it's queued up for me to see soon. It's on YouTube, and it apparently has got some real interesting little bits in it about the creation of Half-Life 2, why they didn't do a third episode follow-up DLC. It mostly came down to Gabe feeling like they just didn't have the right idea, and they just struggled and kind of just gave up eventually. They have a lot of that in there.
Yeah. I think one of the things I've come to appreciate because of these documentaries is how like they're not just trying to make a cool shooter game. Like they're usually trying to push the envelope in weird, creative ways with what they're doing, and that's why you don't see more, even though it still sucks. Because they're
Yeah.
They're not just trying to be like, oh, let's take our characters and just do more, right? Which is usually the premise for a lot of TV and a lot of sequels, where it's just like, do we really need to make another one? You know, like we experimented with all of our ideas. So if there's just no interesting ideas from like a gameplay, artistic perspective, there's no need for more.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what like the 2 episodes kind of are, which like that's why like Alex makes sense, because it's like, oh, there's this new territory, and what they've done with that game is also not going to be replicated by other games, because it's so esoteric, and on the surface it just looks like another video game. It's a shooter with weird quirks.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's been enough time now. Somebody must have a weird idea of doing something with a gravity gun, or just magnetic balls. Like, what if your gonads were magnetic and you had to use them to traverse the terrain?
Yeah.
Like,
What if?
Yeah.
I'm sure there's something they could do. It's a weird interdimensional thing that happened. Half-Life 3, magnet balls.
Catch it. Here's the thing. The old guy, I love the guy from the first game who's, Gordon, you're late again. That dude. The professor, whatever he is, scientist guy. Yeah. They interviewed him for this documentary, and I heard a segment of that. That is a weird listen, because he's not really doing a voice. He's just talking like he talks.
Yep.
It's weird, man.
That part yet.
Oh, it's so weird to hear him just talking. But
I'm finished. What I even found interesting right off the jump was just looking at the train stations that the art director or consultant went to design the Euro look of the game, and I'm like, oh, those exist in real life. Just seeing real, I'm like, that's Half-Life. You know how, John, I was like, I saw one of those culverts, and I was like, did they film Terminator 2 here? And you're like, there's tons of these everywhere, dude.
Yeah.
I had that same feeling watching that, where it's just like, oh shit, it's the real Half-Life train station.
It's where they filmed Half-Life 2.
Yep. It's pretty great though. I'm gonna watch the whole thing at some point here this weekend, and I'm excited about it. It made me want to play 4 again, which I downloaded and then got in and then immediately got out because I was doing something else. Final Fantasy 14, we've hinted about this. We'll talk more about it now, is coming to mobile. John, your time has come. You're ready for this, right? You're stoked?
Well, a couple things, because just to clarify what this is and what this isn't. So this is not just a port of 14 to mobile.
Okay.
This is not going to be a case of if you have a character, if you play 14, now you can play it on mobile.
Oh,
this is going to be kind of its own thing. And so we
Yoshi to talk about it.
We don't know exactly what it's going to look like because it's still in development, but the goal, so it's going to start with a Realm Reborn. It's not going to be all the expansions either. It's starting with a Realm Reborn. It's going to be designed for mobile, with mobile in mind, with the goal of anything you can do in Final Fantasy XIV, you will still be able to do. But they're not anticipating that you're going to have a controller or a backbone or something like that to play it. They are trying to make a game that's going to play and do well on mobile and still somehow be the full 14 experience, which is really interesting. I have no idea what that looks like. I don't think there's a world where I play this realistically because I don't like mobile gaming. But I am very curious by the things they're talking about. It's very intriguing to me. And whether I play it or not, I'm going to be following this very closely. Because it's a really interesting idea to not just say like, yeah, we just made it so you can play the game on mobile. To approach it instead as, no, we're designing the full 14 experience for mobile. That's a really interesting take and a really interesting look. So I'm really curious what this looks like.
They're going to reduce the amount of buttons in the game for sure.
Yeah. Jobs are kind of the obvious going to have to be revisited because there's no way the amount of buttons you have to push, like jobs as they exist currently, there's no way they could do it. So I don't know what it's going to look like. I'm really curious. I'm excited for it. Like it's a great opportunity to get more people to play 14 and experience that story and all of that. But
it sort of sucks that it's not 1-to-1. Like this is their way of doing classic, basically.
This is sort of like Final Fantasy Classic.
Like Genshin Impact, like all the Hoyoverse games are 1-to-1. Like you can log in on mobile and then log into your PC client. Same with like Diablo Immortal. Like I just wonder if the fandom will tolerate it. They want their classic on their phone. Maybe it's there, but like the notion that like, oh, you're making baby's version of Final Fantasy 14. Well, good luck with that. It's not. Doesn't sound good, but like you said, you don't play mobile anyway, so it doesn't affect you.
Yeah, it's not for me. If I want to play the real version of the game, I have a place to do that.
Yeah, I've already got that. Yeah. I picture the executive saying, should we make the full game available on mobile or make a thing just for mobile? And they went like this. They went. And then they sat there for a while with this face. Do you see it? And then they came back and said, yeah, I think we're just going to make it a different game. It'll be its own game.
Yeah, they're probably going to release all the different expansions just like Classic does.
That's the plan. Yeah,
that's reason to get marketing, to get an influx of sales, and it's already pre-baked. Like, I bet you that content pipeline's not as, rather than make new original stuff, right? It's just already there.
What's that called again, John? The pensive look they do? What's that called? There's a word.
I don't know, pensive?
I hate it. I hate how they all do it. They all grab their chin and go, It's like, stop it.
I do that. That's how I think.
You never do that.
You tilt your head.
I do that all the time.
You do that, your wife will say, honey, the toilet's clogged.
You guys have never made me think that deeply before.
the toilet's clogged, John. Come fix it. And you go, let me think about how I can fix that toilet. Ah, yes. And then you turn around, you rotate around without actually moving your feet, and then you storm off, just like in the game. That's what I picture. John's entire life works like a login attempt at that. All right, moving on. Let's talk about this here. Game Pass Ultimate will now let you stream non-Game Pass games, including Baldur's Gate 3 and 50 to start with. This includes their goal originally, and they've said this forever ago, so this isn't actually new. It's just finally happening. They were going to let you play all Game Pass games, Game Pass games, including third parties that may be part of Game Pass. But even if they're not part of Game Pass, you just happen to own something, that game would also be playable via streaming, either mobile or some other device. That's what they want to do. Cool. Everything they've got. And they listed 50 games to start with. It includes all the Final Fantasies, including online. Or all available ones anyway. Hades, things like House Flipper 2, Metro Exodus, Mortal Kombat 1. Let's see, Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, which is everywhere all the time anyway. Warhammer 40K Space Marine 2, which we just got. John's wrestling games on here. Assassin's Creed Mirage.
Mine.
Yours, the one that you have.
It's
Cyberpunk.
My island. It belongs to me.
Cyberpunk's on here. Anyway, the goal...
Still part of the...
Eventually it is that if it's not a Game Pass specific game, you should still be able to play it via streaming if you want to use xCloud, if you own the game on their platform, regardless of party, whoever owns it. You just have to be the owner of it. So in theory, Bo, you could go buy, let's just say you buy Baldur's Gate 3 on an Xbox or on PC, and you own it through their stuff. Game Pass will let you play that through Game Pass, even though it's not a Game Pass game, if that makes sense.
You can stream it in addition to just downloading it.
Yeah. Kind of cool, I think.
That's kind of how GeForce Now works, basically. Like you have to buy it on Steam, and then you play it on GeForce Now.
You know what? Good point. So it is just like that.
One-to-one.
Yeah.
But they offer both, right? They have the Game Pass options, and then now they have the GeForce Now functionality. I mean, they're betting on an end game where they can sell us really cheap hardware because all it has to do is stream the game, not necessarily run the game.
That's true.
Maybe 10 years down the line, this, and we may love it, and it may not be a problem. Who knows?
Might be great.
Definitely,
we don't know. Here's something that
give me that AV1 encoding, decoding, please.
Yeah, you just want the good stuff. Check this out. Software parent company Sony wants to, or I'm sorry, From Software and their parent company has received a buyout offer from Sony. Sony wants to buy From Software is the bottom line.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. Doesn't surprise me at all. But I don't think they do it. I just don't think, I don't know. Maybe they will. Maybe it'll happen. All they've said is they've gotten an offer.
Who's From owned by?
Is that a 10-cent deal? Or no, who is it? Katakawa. It's a Japanese conglomerate thing.
Oh, okay. So it's not.
Let's see.
I'm seeing like acquired behind Tenchu, Spike Chunsoft, and Danganronpa also sit under Katakawa's umbrella. So it's Katakawa.
Yeah, Katakawa. They're like a subsidiary of whoever that is. So they want to buy them. Sony already owns 2% stake in the company, which isn't a controlling stake, obviously, at 2%. But I think they what would they don't have any idea even on what the offer would be. It'd have to be pretty substantial. It's also
crazy.
It's a good match for Sony if they did it, if they pulled it off. But
it seems nuts because From Software is popular in a lot more places than Sony.
Yeah.
It also seems like highly irresponsible. Like they just shuttered a studio. You know what I mean? They just shuttered the Firewalks Studios, the Concord guys.
Yeah.
And they're immediately out here trying to buy other shit.
Well,
like, I don't know. It's weird. You know how it's like let's say I sell you a razor and I'm like, it's for shaving your face, and then you kill someone with it. And I'm like, what am I going to do? Sell you another razor? Like, I'm like, I think you've had enough of razors.
No, I get your point. They would counter that with, well, we want to shutter things that aren't working and we want to buy things that are, and
yeah, I know, but I keep giving it to you and you keep breaking it. At some point, I'm going to stop selling you game companies. Thanks.
Yeah, the Bungie drop or the Bungie mess lately. Like, I don't know. Everybody always wants to focus on when any of the Microsoft acquisitions experience layoffs, but Sony stuff is just as stupid. It's all stupid. It's all meant to impress shareholders in the next quarter that there was somehow growth when there wasn't. It's so dumb. Anyway, that's your news for the week. We're going to take a break. When we come back, Dear Martha Grab Bag got one about player housing coming to WoW. Ooh.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Yeah. Look forward to that. Then we got the games we played this week and much more. So stick around. We'll be right back. Hey, everybody. All righty. We're back. And we're back. Welcome back, everybody. Time for us to play Dear Martha. It's a letter home from the war front, from a very concerned husband to his lovely wife, Martha. And this week, he's doing it in response to the idea that there is now housing in World of Warcraft. And specifically, this listener, let's see, where is it? Just lost the whole thing. There it is. He just says this: I'd like to hear John's thoughts on player housing finally coming to WoW. That's as simple as it gets. So, John, do you think that's enough for you to go where you need to go and do what you got to do?
Well, sure. Yeah, that's fine.
All right, then. Let's find out together how it goes when I push this.
My dearest Martha, the year is 2027, and the new World of Warcraft expansion just came out. In hindsight, I don't think the cadence has gotten any faster. Maybe we were a fool to believe it. But regardless, player housing has finally come to World of Warcraft. Again, this time it's not a garrison. It's completely different. Now, you have a little house, a place to make your own, a place where you can go in and show off your armor. One set that you think is better than all the rest, which of course will be the same set that every other player has chosen. You can also hang the trophies of any bosses that you've killed on the wall to show how elite you are, which of course everybody just chooses Onyxia for some reason. You will also be able to decorate your house in the finest spikes and leathers that Orgrimmar can find. In fact, you can upgrade and make it spikier. Maybe remove a couple spikes, or add an additional spike for an additional fee on their store. Martha, I don't think I'm going to spend much time in player housing anymore. Yours in this life and the next. It was okay. 52.
52. Perfectly done as always. Yeah, I mean, what is there to say about housing? Although, you know what? I will say is this one thing in defense of, well, okay. So here's how it goes. Especially on YouTube comments on some of my videos, somebody keeps bringing up the fact that if they hadn't have promised us housing, if they hadn't sold us on housing and warlords, which ended up being garrisons, then we would be less skeptical. And I kept thinking, I don't remember them saying this.
No, they absolutely did.
I went back and tried to find it. BlizzCon stages, all that.
I believe the quote is, I don't know why I'm saying quote, because my memory's not great. But they said, this is player housing the Warcraft way.
That got said by somebody somewhere?
I am pretty sure it did.
Because I couldn't find anything. I found stuff like, you're going to finally get to make your home base, which is different. You're going to finally be able to make your central hub of activity, like these kinds of things. But I don't think anybody said housing that I could find. If you have that, then I will not keep pushing that narrative. But I don't think
I feel very confident that they said it. I do. And even if they didn't, they didn't discourage it.
Well, that's
They weren't out there going, no, this isn't player housing.
Yeah.
I 100% believe that they said this is our answer to player housing. This is the Warcraft solution. It was something to that effect.
Yeah.
It was absolutely meant to be it. And
I don't know.
it scared them off of it. And here's the thing.
Yeah.
My real take on player housing, because Dear Martha, I try to be funnier. But my real take on player housing is I didn't think I cared about it when I started playing Final Fantasy, which has player housing. And it's one of my favorite things in the game. I think they're going to do something cool with it. I think it's going to be cooler than Garrisons. I think people will like it. And I do think the WoW team is capable of learning a lesson. I don't think they're going to do Garrisons again. I don't.
I don't either. I don't either. Regardless of what they said, I don't think this is Garrison's 2.0. It's
I think it'll be fine.
All right. Well, let's talk about another fine thing. The completion of Dragon Age Veilguard, at least for you guys. Or in John's case, for sure this week. Because the week prior, Bo had finished. John finished this week. Scott played it, but bounced out pretty quick a couple of times. I have a theory on that I'll share just quickly.
That anytime you say you're going to finish a game, you immediately become allergic to it.
There's a weird truth to that, but I'm not sure it's that simple. It does happen though, right? Like when I say, "Oh yeah, this is one. I'm going all out." Something about me, the minute I say that, the storm turns, and I don't know why. So I'm trying not to say that anymore about games. I do think I will end up beating this game, but I can tell you this is just, I know we've all gone through this, so this is going to be relatable, but there are times in your gaming life where you'll get into the thing that you think you're in the mood for, and you're just not. You're just like, I'm not in the mood to listen to them talk all this. I kind of just need some mechanics. I just need to feel, I need the dopamine without all the packaging. Like, I get in those moods, and right now I'm in one of those moods. So that's my excuse.
I relate to you very much because I have the reverse problem with World of Warcraft. I'm like, I'm not going to play World of Warcraft, and then that immediately follows me on a huge Warcraft bender.
Right. You say you're not, then you do. Yeah. See, it's weird.
Yeah.
It's
I'm
almost
like, there's nothing left to do in the game. I'm not interested anymore. And then 2 days later, you find me at 5 a.m.
Yeah, maxing out your mythics, getting rad mounts and all that
It's
cool
happened
stuff.
for me this past week where I'm like, I think I'm done with this. And then I'm immediately playing all week. So.
Yeah, I understand that too. It's like a double-edged sword, but I don't know what it is. I'll get back to it. I always do, but I don't know. It turns out what I was in the mood for, I ended up finding, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But let's get to John and his completion. Anything to add on to what we've said a lot about this game, but having finished it now, has your impressions changed, altered, stayed about the same? Like, where are you at?
Well, it's funny. Early on in playing Dragon Age: The Veilguard, I said I feel like this game is a 7 out of 10. And if I was gonna review this game, I've said on the show before, I don't think there's any reason to review a game out of 10. I think you can do it in 5. I think all reviews should be out of 5, because I don't feel like there's anything that a 10 does that a 5 can't tell you the same thing on. This game is making me eat those words, though, because I've never seen a game more where I go, a 3 seems a little too harsh for this game, and a 4 seems way too generous for this game. I need like that half a point for Dragon Age. So it would be a 3.5, which if you put that scale on a 10, would be a 7 out of 10. Yeah. So that's a long way of saying I absolutely called it back in the day. When I first started playing this, my initial impression stayed true. This game is really, really good in ways that I wouldn't have expected it to be good, and it is abysmally bad in areas that I thought would be a shoo-in for BioWare. Even though obviously the team has changed over the years and all of that, still you would assume BioWare's strengths would remain BioWare's strengths to at least some degree. And it's kind of shocking to see how far this has fallen in those regards. I think Bo mentioned it last week. The final hours of this game are really good. And in some ways, you can look at it and go, oh, awesome, the game ended really well. There is also another side of that. Maybe it's a pessimistic way of looking at it where you go, why couldn't more of the game have been this?
Yeah.
Why did I play this game for 90 hours, but I'm glowing about 3 hours of it? What was all the other stuff? And that's where a lot of the frustration for this game comes from, because the ending is just the ending is what most of the game should have been. The characters stop being abysmal and start actually mattering. The stakes suddenly feel like they exist. We're done worrying about what our moms think of us and what kind of coffee we're going to have later, and what it means to be tied to the earth, and we're ready to actually do things in the world and get serious. And it turns out that's when the game is really solid. So just kind of my closing thoughts on the game. I mean, it feels it feels really dumbed down. Like I agree. So Bo said this early on in his review, and he's very positive about the game. Spoilers, because he can talk more about it in a minute. But he said at a certain point you do have to meet the game where it is, and I do think he's right to a degree on that. Like this game does kind of upfront tell you what it is, and what it is, it's okay at. But to me the biggest problem is that what this game also is a game with the word Dragon Age in front of it. Like, so as much as you may turn around and go, okay, well, come on, but let's judge the game for what it is. Well, okay, it's part of the Dragon Age series, and it feels like when a rated R movie gets a rating change so that more people can go to the theater and watch it. Like, it's disappointing. And the weird thing is I don't even know why it feels so toned down, because there are dark things. Like, you'll go through rooms full of corpses. I fought a lady that was wearing blood, but like these are just weird occasional moments. And the rest of the game feels like, all right, guys, careful. Let's put our kitty gloves on, and let's go from there. And it's just, every time I found something to get excited about, there was just something else in the game that was just such a disappointment. Ironically, the companion that I was the most like, well, this seems like a weird choice. It's an old man. Ended up being my favorite companion on the team. And the companion I was the most excited about, which was Tosh, the Qunari, because traditionally I really like the Qunari in Dragon Age games. It was an interesting, it was a step forward in terms of representation, with Tosh being a non-binary character. Tosh is maybe the worst companion that they've ever had in the history of the games.
The history of all Dragon Age games.
I cannot believe they made a character that obnoxious.
With Tosh specifically, I think her whole thing is she is a not interesting person. You know, you meet people who have like a real, they lack Riz. They have like negative Riz or whatever. Like they're so, like if that's what they were aiming for with this character, it's like they nailed it. Like they made a character who's, and like I'm okay with a companion who's.
So that's why I thought I would like Tosh, is because that's what Sten was in the first game.
Yeah.
Sten was like this companion that every time you talked to him, he was kind of an asshole. Every time you talked to him, he just wanted to tell you about his people and really didn't give a shit about anything you were telling him. And it was like, ugh. I never included him in my party, and then on like my 5th playthrough or whatever, all of a sudden I was like, okay, I'm gonna make the effort and try and really get to know Sten and see what's there. It ended up being a character I really liked, and kind of got me interested in the Qunari in general. So there was a part when I first met Tosh where I was like, okay, they're going for something similar, because they're obviously a person that's a little hard to, they lack a lot of social graces. But it just felt like every time there was an interesting story to tell with Tosh, they just went down such a weird road. And I mentioned this one to you guys. There's something so baffling to me about the fact that the game presents a storyline where Tosh tells their mom that they're non-binary, and that's the storyline that they focus on for that character. And then the next cutscene I had with Tosh in it was Tosh arguing with Emmerich. And while they're arguing, Emmerich says, also, Tosh, my name is Emmerich. It's not Death Mage. It's not Skeleton Man. It's not any of this. Please call me by my name. And Tosh's response is, but you are a Death Mage. And it's like,
nice, well done, guys.
It's like, how, like, it's so weirdly tone deaf to have the character that their entire story is about, respecting their identity, to then immediately in like the next cutscene I saw not respect another character's identity. It was really weird. But I think, to me, the ending and how good it is puts a giant magnifying glass on what my issues were with the game. is it was a lot of coffee talk. It was a lot of like being a bird dad. It was a lot of like little things. And then all of a sudden things got serious, and these characters that I didn't think I cared that much about, all of a sudden, in general, became more interesting when the stakes got high and we stopped focusing on, I said it last week, where it was like, this felt like being a class counselor. All of a sudden it was like, okay, well, now we're actually going to take things seriously. We're going to take the end of the world seriously, and we're going to focus on these problems. And the ending is so good. Now, whether or not the 3-hour ending being awesome is worth the 90 hours I put into the game, that's up to you and your feelings on it. Overall, I don't regret playing this game. Overall, in general, I'm favorable to this game. Again, I'd probably say about a 7 out of 10. But, Dragon Age Origins is one of my most played games of all time. I didn't necessarily expect this to surpass it, but I hoped it would be a step closer to it. And instead, it felt like more of an intentional step away from it. And that was a bummer. There's a disappointment in that regard.
Of the series, though, where do you rank it now? Like, if you had to say.
Of the series?
Yeah, the entirety of the thing. 2 through...
I mean, Origins is still, I think, the best. I think 2 has... Like, the problem is Origins, I think, is good on all fronts. After that, I think there are good games hampered by problems for the next 3.
Yeah.
And so the only thing I can really look at objectively, it feels like, when it comes to the next 3 are the storylines. And I cared more about the characters and the way the narrative was presented in 2. But 2 had a ton of problems. I thought Inquisition played a lot better.
Yeah.
And I liked the characters a lot better, but I thought the overall story wasn't as good as Veilguard. I think Veilguard has a better overall story, but has worse characters. So I don't know. It kind of feels like a wash. It doesn't. I feel like there's a top tier and then there's just a middle tier, is what it feels like.
Well, Bo, how does John's final time in that game ring with you?
There's a lot of problems with the writing, and if you spend a lot of time thinking about it, it'll bug you. If you like check your when I say like meet the game where it's at, it's like you just check your brain out and be like, it's just some talking shit. I want to get to the fighting. I want to get to the things I like about the game. The game's very fun. But like, there isn't anything John said where I'm like, oh, I disagree with that. Yeah. Like the content they're doing, like the subject matter they're doing is good. Its writing is, it's not handled artfully. It's not handled very well at all. There's like logic problems. If there were problems like the dissonance with him, like for me, it was more just about being a sexual predator with the romance options, because you're essentially picked as the team leader. They talk about the team, you're leading the team. So why do I have the option to hit on everyone that I'm formally being put into a leadership position? A lot of games like in Baldur's Gate 3, you're just someone suffering along with the rest of the people. You're kind of even though you're the player and thus you have the agency to make choices and people will refer to you as maybe leading the team. You're never like officially I'm the leader, but in this case, you and Varric form a team to stop people. You bring in people to help with the end of the world, and then you're just going to go around and bang them. Like it's I'm like, it's like, did you play your own game? Like for a game that's so sensitive about these issues, they're written so badly and so awkwardly that it's just a lot of little things like that. Plus with all the exposition and repetition of saying full names. Hi, I'm Strife and I'm with the Veil Jumpers. Don't forget, I'm a member of the Veil Jumpers. Can you get me a cup of coffee? As a member of the Veil Jumpers, I will get you that cup of coffee. And you're just like, who wrote this? ChatGPT? Like, Jesus Christ. Like, it's bad. It's really, it's not good. And I even think I picked out some AI voice work in some of these small NPCs. There was some of the NPCs who say like 1 or 2 lines because you're chatting with them are very vocally monotone. And I'm like, I couldn't call it for sure, but I'm like, I think they did use some vocal AI on a few lines here and there as well. So if they use script writing for some of this stuff, it wouldn't shock me. Because that's how, unartful it is. Like when I say they lack character, it's like it's in the way they speak. Everyone's a correct enunciator. Like there's no Scottish hard ass dwarf. Like everyone's like fully enunciated American voice dwarf, and it's like, okay.
Yeah.
But give me someone with personality. Emmerich has personality. That's why I think he's like the only character that jumps off the page, because he actually
really liked Emmerich.
He's so polite and civil, and even when you get to the end of his quest line, like, are you playing this game, Scott? Because it's awesome. You can make him become a lich. And in lich mode, Emmerich is my favorite thing ever, because he still talks. He's like a badass looking lich, and he's still like, "Oh, hello, can you pass me that book, please?" He's like, "What the hell?" It's so cool. But most of the other characters lack like that pizzazz that you're like playing a fantasy game for, and not, like leading a team and trying to lead them responsibly. So I agree with that. And then when you get to when everyone's like not concerned about the team, it's like Walking Dead in the group. Like half that show is like, should this person be in the group? The group. What about the group? The group. Stop saying the word group, Walking Dead. And this game does that with the team is this. That's the team status. The team, the team. I'm like, it's medieval. We don't have teams. We have like lords, and you do what I say, kind of like it's, so okay, it's modernized a bit for modern sensibilities. We got teams, but like I'm so sick of all the check-ins. And aside, I would say, from like Tosh and Emmerich, no one's going through really that serious of an issue. Like that, like Davern's like, should I raise griffins? You're like, yes. And like the stone, the dwarf's like, I got stone powers. It's cool. Just follow it. Okay,
yeah,
done.
Stop complaining about it.
Valara is sad. She's like, I don't know. I'm sad about my brother. It's like, yeah, be sad. Please grieve. Like that's normal. Okay, who's next?
I'm sad about my brother. He's dead. He's alive.
Nev in her damn city. She's like, she's like supposed to be this hard ass cynical person, and she's like, I let you have to make a choice of the dragon attachment Rathis, right? So she's like, oh my city. I'm like, your city's full of like junkies and thieves and whatever. Like, why are you like this is phony? Like,
I think the biggest issue, I mean, tell me if you feel like you saw this too, is that it doesn't feel like the characters ever evolve. Like they move forward, they earn things, but even Emmerich, who I think again is probably my favorite character in this, even he is like, he has a goal and he obtains it, but there's a level of maturity because like he's afraid of death. But like
anxiety. Freddy's a necromancer with death anxiety.
I feel like he's the most that a character evolves in general. They just kind of learn things and move on. It's like that they don't really grow. I don't know. There's some of them that do, but it's like it's minuscule. It's like the smallest amount. And like the thing that shocked me is it's like, okay, well, you could make the case, well, maybe this is all happening so fast. Who really goes through a ton of growth over it? But there's a part where they told me that they were just gonna like fuck off for a weekend to go camping. While we were sitting around talking in the town, they're like, yeah, we're gonna go camping together. And I was like, wait a minute. How long is this adventure taking where you have time to just go backpacking in the wilderness together? I thought we were on a ticking clock here, but apparently we have free time to go gallivant and just camp in the woods as if it's a fun nature activity in medieval times here to just go backpack hiking and camping together. It's just weird. There's just a lot of weird in the game that really bugged me. And I'll tell you one thing that I was sad to learn after I talked to Bo is I knew that there wasn't like a ton of depth in terms of like what my decisions impacted and all of that. I knew there wasn't a ton of it. But when I got done with the game, I asked Bo, I was like, hey, I asked him about one thing, and then you could tell Bo was like ready to talk about the ending because he sent me a list of all the things that made up his ending.
Yeah.
And it was the exact same as mine, with the exception of who we romanced. And honestly, I did not even care about the romance, which is usually an important part of
you gotta use that word
BioWare
lightly,
games.
Like,
yeah. I think so. You keep saying it's a leadership thing. For me, the creepy thing wasn't that I was in a leadership role. To me, the creepy part came from, it's sort of tied to that, but it goes back to that talking to everybody like they're children. I felt like I was managing a high school. And it wasn't that like, oh, my position is a position of power as the quote unquote leader of the team. It was more just like I felt like a teacher dating their students because all of these kids were just goofing around. And I was like, well, one of you I'm going to romance. That's why it felt inappropriate to me, was because I felt like I was the only adult in the room. I was surrounded by a bunch of children, just goofing all the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know, man. I wish they had taken it in a slightly different direction. I think for what it is, it's okay. I think depending on what you want, I basically I feel like this game has earned its incredibly divisive reviews.
Yeah.
I think people that give this game a low score, I completely understand where they're coming from. I think people that give this game a perfect, if not amazing score, I get where they're coming from. When people tell me, "Oh, this character worked for me," I can see it. It didn't for me, and that's the case more often than not for me. Is that it didn't work, but I can understand why it landed for some people. But sadly, it just wasn't. It just wasn't for me.
Yeah.
I just think there's a lack of like artfulness in a lot of the proceedings. You know, like just in terms of the dialogue and how all it was. You could rewrite this game, and I believe if the dialogue was fun and the character development was good, it would be like a banger for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a couple things for me from being perfect.
I was like legitimately almost tearing up. Not, Yakuza levels, but like I was like, oh man, like decisions are actually having consequence and meaning, and like they're partially my fault, and it's like it's cool.
Yeah.
And I get vengeance. Like I'm mad now, so when I'm killing bad guys, I'm like, fuck these guys. Kill. Like it's good. It's good, and it's like just put that on the whole game, like John said. So
yeah, if it was just a little bit more tactful in how it did things, it would be such a perfect game. It would be, I mean, easily this would be my game of the year. Even with all its flaws, I sunk 90 hours into it and finished the thing.
Yeah, it's not like you didn't give it a run.
That's something.
Yeah. It's hard to call it bad if it hooked you to the end. Like there was something good there for it. And
but with a couple of tweaks and a couple things different, like this could have been a game that just like was a no-brainer. Like yeah, it's just
I want to talk a little bit too, because someone mentioned Mass Effect, you are the commander, and it's like just in the chat room, I can't remember who said it. And I just wanted to respond to that and say, oh, Sir Whiskey Jack. And I did wanted to say, like, you are the leader, but like, are you really in command of Rex? Are you really in command of Garrus? Like, it's like, yes, maybe technically, but they'll go and do their own thing.
It never felt it never felt like you had you're like Malcolm Reynolds in Firefly. You
like it's tenuous because you get assigned as a Spectre. Not everyone's like, oh, worship the Spectre. Like in Dragon Age, everyone's like, you're the leader of the team. What would we do without you? You're amazing. Why are you feeling down? You're so good at leading the team. Everyone there's like a hair's breadth away from like abandoning you and doing their own thing. That like
I can see that.
It's just a formality, and not. It's not like. This game literally like sits you down with the employee handbook and is like, all right, here's how you treat people in the workplace. And it's like, okay. And there was a twist at the end too. Sorry, I'm just gonna dovetail into another thing. I actually got caught by the twist. Did you get caught? John's not usually a get caught by twist guy, but did you get caught by the twist?
I didn't see it coming. When they revealed it, I was like, okay, that makes sense. But I didn't like the twist because to me, again, it's a great twist if it serves a purpose. But like they make it very clear that this isn't just your brain trying to clarify things. I'm going to talk around it so we don't go too heavy on spoilers for the twist. They make it really clear that this isn't your brain just like trying to deal with stuff. but that this was something that was done to you, but it feels so arbitrary. It was like it was done to you. Why? So that there can be a twist reveal near the end of the game.
Right.
Okay.
You didn't buy the rationale for
like I
so,
thought it was a great surprise, but then it made me go, well, I really wish they had handled that differently then.
Yeah. Yeah, it could have had more impact. I agree, because it did get me, and I understand. I was like, oh, neat.
Yeah.
Neat. It wasn't like, oh shit, but it could have been. Again, down to the quality of the writing. All that to say, yeah, like I don't know what happened, what's going on with the writing team. I feel like the story is good. You know what I mean? Like if you're storyboarding and they're planning the game,
great.
They made a banger, and then it was like we need to write some lines of dialogue, and it's like, who's the worst writer on the team? Sorry, I shouldn't do that, but like it really felt like the basic stuff, exposition. Go to a creative writing class and ask the teacher, and they'll be like, the first rule of writing is show, don't tell. And it's everyone hears that. And Dragon Age writers were like, we're gonna tell.
I'm gonna do the telling. I'm going to give some benefit of the doubt, maybe undeserved, but to try to be a little nice. I do feel like this game obviously has been a long time in development. It's been through the ringer. It's obviously had a lot of rewrites. I think it was in IGN's review where they even point out that I think in the review they said they never say the word Veilguard. They do, but it's only once at the very, very end, and It could have very easily been tacked on. Yeah, Veilguard is nothing. Like there is no Veilguard. There's no point. In fact, it wouldn't even surprise me if they were like, we don't have a name, so just write team, and that's why team is in there so much.
That's true. I didn't really realize that. Like, because they do say it at the end, so in my mind I was like, oh, we were the Veilguard all along, but like
yeah, no,
I can't think of when you sat down. Like even if there will be dungeons, you're like, our team needs a name. And you're like, we're the heroes of the wastes. We never had that conversation.
No, it just gets casually, narratively referred to as the Veilguard after the fact. And so to me, all of this suggests that this was probably a game that was being written right down to the wire to some degree. And as a result, I feel like if this game, and maybe it was, but again, I'm trying to give benefit of the doubt. If people sat down and played through this game with a critical mind towards writing and could have critiqued it, I feel like it could have been polished up into something good. Avoid situations where you have a character very worried about their identity, then criticizing somebody and ignoring someone else talking about their identity. Or we have someone in the chat, Talia, saying that actually reflects what could be real problems. I don't understand that. Most people aren't going to understand that. If that's a true thing, that could be. But if the game wants to open that door, then it needs to share that. It needs to be something that is either universally respected by the game world or explained. The problem with Tosh's writing is Tosh acts like a petulant child through most of the game. And more often than not, they just get catered to and get their way. I would like to be called by my name. Yeah, but you're a death mage, so I'm just going to call you death mage. Oh, okay. Well, let's settle our differences. I didn't know you were uncomfortable. Nobody ever says, hey, this isn't nice. Nobody ever sits Tosh down and goes, hey, this isn't a decent way to act. Everybody there's no
explanation. There's no explanation of that. If they were gonna shout that to the back of the room to teach people that was the case, they failed to do that. I know that scene you're talking about. They just leave it and then that's it. There's no follow up to it.
Yeah, it never comes up again. And I feel like if people had an opportunity to play through it and criticize the dialogue and sit down and talk about it and go, hey, it's really weird that we have this scene that's this followed by this scene. Well, this is why I wrote it that way. Okay, well, here's how we need to tweak it. Here's how we should modify it. I feel like this game just needs a little bit of polishing on that to avoid some of those weird discrepancies. And I feel like they could have made something a lot better from it. Again, the fact that they call her Nev Gallus full name, 17 times in the first 15 minutes of this game.
She's like Sherlock Holmes. You don't just say Sherlock. You say Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah, well, it's weird. So it just needed that level of polish, and maybe they didn't have time for it.
Yeah, given the history of the game.
I couldn't even tell you what Rex's first name is.
Rex
or his last name.
What, in Mass Effect?
I was going to say his name's
I think
Rex,
it's just
right?
Rex, isn't it?
No, it's Rex Ergnot. It's Ergnot Rex. That's it.
Yeah, there you go. Around. Yeah, see, that's what I mean. But everyone just calls him Rex. But this game's like, here's your full name over and over and over again. It's funny.
I hadn't thought of it that way. All right, well, there you go. A chapter. We've turned that chapter. We've turned that page.
Our thoughts, more thoughts than you wanted on Dragon Age for the past 3 weeks. I think it's over.
That's what happens.
Well, we're done. Scott might get back to it at one point. He said he was going to beat it, though, so that's almost a guarantee. He's never going to touch it again.
I mean, I'll touch it, but will I beat it? That's a good question. I don't know.
I think he's almost seen the whole game, judging by how much we've talked about it the past 3 weeks.
Yeah,
like, what's there left for him to play?
You know, it'd be funny as I come back a year later and go, before we get to the news, I beat Dragon Age. Anyway, Microsoft said today. You know what I mean?
That's it. Like that's the full discussion.
I think you will like it. Like knowing how, like, you know, I just feel like you will enjoy the game. I feel like you'll have the same problems we do with some of it for sure. Like, absolutely, but you'll enjoy it. You know.
Well,
there's just lots to do, lots to play, and only so much time.
As I mentioned, my problem lately is I need to just get to some mechanics going. Just didn't need all the story going on, and I don't know, all that downtime or whatever. I was just having this feeling. Yeah. So I played a game that I picked up a game and played a game. If it's still on sale, people have to go get this while it's cheap. It's insanely inexpensive, and the name does it no justice. It is called Aces and Adventures, and that sounds dumb. It just doesn't sound very exciting. This is one of the coolest games I've ever picked up. So we'd seen this before because we talked about, you know, Balatro, I still don't think I'm saying it right, came along and said, hey, what if we put some poker mechanics into a genre that's sort of familiar to roguelike players and deck builders and stuff like that. This is another one of those where face cards are part of it, but a very small part of it. And poker hands are part of it, but also a very small part of it. They make up some of the underlying mechanics. But this game is all about being more of a proper CCG. It's more of a adventure as well. So you draw these like story cards, and they send you where you're going to go, or you choose to go in these places. Sometimes you choose paths. And this awesome narrator, let's see if I can get her talking here. See here.
Actually, this one's been on my list for a week.
Walks along a riverbank. Startled by your sudden appearance, the stone is raised in defense.
Really good narration from this lady. She's freaking fantastic. And then other characters have voices too. So your hero character has a voice. The people you run into, NPCs, people you got to fight, they have voices. And they add to this story that's kind of dynamically told in what's that game with the hunched over cartoon characters, and then you kind of make your own story every time you run it? Wildermyth, that's it. There's that kind of vibe to the way the story plays out, because it's not ever exactly the same. It's always a little bit different. And you have different packs for different adventures and different things you can do to affect that pack. In the time that I've played it, it's mostly just getting my heads around the mechanics. And the poker hands are more useful for the kind of damage you're going to do, but also there's these other like action cards that you're going to need to choose or use that will determine the kind of attack you're going to do. And then the poker hand will just help you hit that home, or be a weaker attack because you only had 2 pair of 3s, or it'll be better because you had a flush or whatever. And you take turns. You have a little stone you turn over when your turn's over. He goes, you see the little dice below your character. Those are actually not rollable. They're your life points. So my little warrior there, he's got 7 life points left. The guy he's fighting, he's got a little D6, and I think he's got 1. But they flip over when you
I see. That's your character on the left. Okay.
Right, that's me on the left. It doesn't always work out that way, though. Sometimes it'll knock you to the other side, but there's mechanical reasons for that. I won't get into those because it's not that interesting. But the defending is interesting because you want to if they may lay out 4 cards, like let's say it's 3 of a kind and then an ace high. It's a pretty good hand. Mm-hmm. Your job isn't to counter that with a hand. Your job is to put cards out that equal that or better. In other words, if it's 4 cards, then a 4 of diamonds would do it. That would block.
Gotcha.
You're trying to create these different things. Hearts, by using hearts cards, they are also part of your attack, but also can represent healing. You have action cards that will convert cards into certain things just for that turn. So it's like, well, I really need an ace of hearts, and then now I've got a straight, so I'm going to convert that, and now I've got that straight. You collect these cards almost like runes throughout your runs, and then these runes can be selectable and used once per round. I'm doing a terrible job explaining this. There's a ton of stuff going on here, and it is so good, and it pops. That's the other thing I love about it. You're at a table in a grove somewhere, and you kind of see the clouds flying over. You see the shadows and stuff, and you see the leaves shaking and stuff. So it always feels like you're kind of doing this outside. But when something dark happens, the table gets all shadowy, and the cards reflect this shadowy light, and there's kind of Hearthstone level like pop to stuff exploding and moving and enhancing and killing the guy is a super intense graphical moment. And when there's something scary to do, the voice is so great. It's like you hear something in the distance, and a guy will go, "Come to me, young one," or whatever. It's like just very DM, like a DM is running this kind of vibe.
Yeah.
This game is freaking rad, and it was on sale for like $5. I don't know if it still is.
I was just gonna say it is. I bought it, installed it, and I'm running the game now. I'm like,
it is so stupid worth it. Like it's worth it at full price, and I'm pissed I didn't get it earlier. But at $5 or whatever the sale is, absolutely a zero brainer at this game. I'm not kidding. It's that cool. I love it. Punching above its weight. Little indie game. Graphically,
thanks for bringing this game up.
Yeah,
I noticed it and never gave it a try. And now that you said it's good, I bought it.
I think you'll really like it, dude.
The running tally so far is I've lost $7 this episode.
That's not bad. That's not bad.
Not bad. It's one
could
of
be
the
a lot
cheaper
worse.
episodes.
Yeah, it could be a whole lot worse.
Spend more. Yeah.
This game's cool. I also played. So there's been this cozy sale, like games that are cozy on Steam. So it's like, oh, little shortcore games, and you're running your own cafe or whatever. And I found this one called Coffee Caravan. Chill little shortcore game. My daughter's actually playing it over there right now. It's got a real nice challenge to it. So if you're worried about it being too cozy, it's not. It gives you a run for your money. But you're this little chibi person, and you're just making coffee, and they give you a tutorial every time you get a new kind of coffee to make, and you grind your beans. And when you're done grinding your beans, you put them in the thing, and then you serve the customer. This is a tutorial we're seeing here. If I skip ahead, you can see an actual day going. So here comes the customer. He's going to plop down. You've got to wash your dishes. Think of like,
there's the chore core. We found it.
Yep. Think of like Overcooked without the stress or the multiplayer. There's no multiplayer. It's a little more chill than that.
Overcooked without the impending threat of divorce.
Yes, exactly. Oh my gosh, you're not kidding about that. That game sets people off.
Funny.
But it gets pretty hectic, and you're just trying to do the best you can. If you're a fan of like these old Diner Dash games and that kind of thing, this is a really fun little take on it. And you're unlocking coffee all the time. Oh, this is the other thing. It's not. Most of these games just go, all right, well, you're open, now do your thing. This has like a almost Slay the Spire map in between rounds where you choose where you want to go next. And that might be a very busy set of customers represented by an icon with multiple heads on it. Another one might be a place to buy furniture. In fact, let's see, there it is right here. And so you choose this kind of path, and you can have branching paths and all this. Think of it like that sort of thing. And then ultimately at the top, you might have like what is sort of a boss fight, but really it's just you and a very slammed day and 4 kinds of coffees being made, and you got to be quick and hit a certain score or whatever. And if you do well, you'll unlock a new van that has more room in it, and you can you can expand your room.
You're getting me to spend so much money today.
It's a cool little game.
Are you getting this, Bo?
It's a cool game.
First buy-in on Shorecore.
It's only $8.
I've always wanted to run my own coffee shop.
I think it's $8.
Seems like fun.
This one's cheap.
15 for me. It's reasonable price. Let's do this.
Do it, dude. Get it. See, tell me what you think of it, because I really like it. The challenge is nice. It makes me just feel good. It's just a chill, fun.
I mean, so far I'm like 2 minutes into Aces and Adventures, and it's super cool.
It's already good, right?
Like, yeah.
That game deserves to be discovered.
I hope you didn't like any more games this week. That's all I want to say.
Well, there's one more.
Like
there's one more that we played that you guys, and again, this is all part of my hunt for get me out of these big sweeping stories and let me just do some mechanics. And some months ago on this show, we discovered a game that was coming out called Dungeon Clawler. Do you guys remember this? Where
it's a claw machine
based,
roguelike.
It came out today. It was only $8, and I only played, I don't know, 4 rounds.
Yeah.
I love this freaking game. I'm not here to give you a full report yet because I haven't played enough and gotten deep enough or unlocked enough characters. But this game, it's combination of like, please pick up those shields. I need them this turn. And one of them fell out. Oh shit. Okay, but at least I got 2. Okay, cool. And then I've got every sword in here in one pile. I'm picking them all up. Oh, it was a bad claw. I only got 3 of the 4 swords. I'm gonna die. Like, there's that aspect to the game. Then there's this crazy thing where some liquids can fill the claw machine, and you can convert that liquid into lava, which means all metal items you pick up are going to be hot and add additional damage to your enemies. You want to have, there's another one, like an ability to turn the little fluffs that are in there that are just like excess fluff in the claw machine. It'll turn those into coins. And when you get the magnet claw can pull out swords, coins, other metal objects, get like a motherload dump over there. And then even then it's a little precarious because sometimes shit will land on that little divider and hang there until you can knock it with something longer or a magnet or something. It's so good. It is so what I love about these, and I love the alternate, like, you may notice a trend today. It's like poker cans to do fantasy things, a claw machine to beat bad guys in a dungeon. Like, it's weird.
Yeah,
it's something.
No, it seems like a pretty spot on reaction to Dragon Age. Okay, I want fantasy shit, but I don't want to talk to anybody.
I don't want to talk to anybody. I just want to kill stuff and be strategic.
I want to hear about your fantasy problems. I just want to, like, give me my loot out of a claw machine or a poker deck, whatever. I just don't want to hear about it.
Yeah, it's got it, and it's just so, the loop is so satisfying. And when you dump
I'm gonna wish list this one. I'm not buying it, but I have a feeling I will buy it because I'm gonna tell you, one of the unintended side effects of being a Yakuza player, is getting into the mini games. And let me tell you, I'm a claw machine pro. I hated claw machines at first, but there's always a side quest where your little boy is like, I'd really, really like a coon.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh shit, I want to do all the side quests. All right, here we go, claw machine. I did so much claw machine that I've become a pro.
Well, and in between every,
I guess,
between every level, you get abilities that are essentially, it's like getting cards in a card game, but they're items that will show up in the claw machine now moving forward. And when you get one of them, they might turn the water to lava or electrify all metal objects. The bosses have some tricks too, though. I played a boss in my last one before the show started that filled the claw machine with black ooze, and so all I could see was just some stuff floating up top. So I had to guess where to go, and there's something super intense about that as well. Ended up beating him, and it felt really good. The other thing that you do, we're not seeing it here just yet because it's still early on, but the paths are like branching and open, and so you can go into a certain room, and in there will be a treasure chest, a guy to fight, a guy who's going to help fix your stuff, to make him to improve your abilities or whatever. Like normal, you'd think of with Slay the Spire or something, right? Give me a +1 to damage or something. But instead of just doing that and paying for it, it's claw machine mechanics still. So if I want to get more health, it isn't just, thanks for coming in, buy 20 gold worth of health. It's me going into a claw machine trying to pick up just the bottles of health that are in the claw machine and avoid the poison bottles that are next to them, because when they both come out of the chute, I'm going to get the health from the health bottles that I captured, and any poison that hit me will also take life away. So you have these, like, it's chance, a little RNG, but also strategy and skill and picking the right moment to pull and all that kind of stuff. You fish for certain treasure chests on one of these little mini games, and they're all based on that. And when you open a treasure, it's a giant spinning wheel full of crap that falls through the hole, and hopefully you get a bunch on your spin. Like, it really leans into that as your main modus for getting shit done. And man, I freaking love it. I love it. It's on mobile today.
I think the thing they've done the best job with, like the thing that probably appeals to me most, is the animation of the claw grabbing everything is so satisfying. Like, Because it's not that it grabs like one thing. It like just grabs a friggin' handful of stuff. A bunch of stuff falls down, and there's something just very satisfying about the way it's all animated. I feel like if that wasn't the case,
it wouldn't even be.
There would be a lot less magic to this game, but they've animated it so perfectly. That it just seems cool. It seems so compelling.
I would agree with that, and the reason that is important too. It's not just for looks and feeling satisfying, which it is. You are 100% correct, but it is gameplay too, because you're making guesses. It's like, if I go just like a real claw machine, if I get this just right, I will grab the thing I need, this hammer, and maybe some gold with it or a shield with it. And that shield's giving you block every time you pick one up. But sometimes, because it's based on these simple but real physics, it will go down and just miss the hammer. You're like, damn it. Or it will get all three of the things I want, but the swinging motion over to the side flips the hammer out because it's got weight and it can't hang on with just the little lip of the thing. So there's this give and take, and like I got to be smart about what I'm grabbing, and I can also tell when the bad guy, like right now, he's got a 6 over his head with a sword. That means he's going to attack you for 6 damage unless you do something to mitigate that with your turn, and your turn is always 2 claws. You may get more later. I don't know. I haven't unlocked everything, but I will focus on shields. So I'll try to go for one of the fatter shields and maybe a couple small shields in a single grab if I can, and then his 6 damage isn't going to do jack to me. It'll be, basically it'll block it. See, there's where he lost the axe. So there's these crazy combinations of luck and skill that just strike the right balance for me. A lot of these games, that's what this is about, right? But in this case, it's this familiar motif of, we've all tried a claw machine. We all kind of suck at them, but it's super addicting. I love it. I can't wait to play this on Steam Deck, which it runs great on there. See, look at this room. You get all kinds of other stuff to do. There's like pachinko machine. Oh yeah, there's a whole pachinko machine. It's a mini game. So all these different things. Yeah, all that kind of crap. It's also on mobile today on Android and iOS, and I assume it's a premium game, so you can just buy it and play it there. This is probably great for that because the controls are rather simple. It's controller or keyboard, and you just move the claw and then hit a button to tell the claw to go down, and then the claw does what it does, and you might use the mouse to select your rewards and things like that after, but really it's down to just claw mechanics. I think a phone would do this just fine. So if you'd like to play it there, I don't know what the price is. I didn't check. This all just happened today. So, but this one was on my list for sure, and I'm loving it. Runs on PC, Mac. They have mobile versions and the Steam Deck. Like, it's crack in a box. I'm so excited to keep playing this. I'd love this shit. So if you're like me, this will all come ringing into your brain. Dungeon Clawler.
Lawler.
Like clawler. Yeah, because the claws.
Clawler.
Yeah, instead of crawling,
Clawler.
you're clawing your way through the dungeon. Almost should be Dungeon Clawer. Dungeon Clawer. Nope, that doesn't really work.
Dungeon Claw.
Dungeon Claw. Bear Claw. All right, let's move on to me, for some reason, playing Ace Combat 7 again. I can't explain it.
And this one you can't claim you didn't want weird melodramatic story from.
No, but what I did, and I love the weird dramatic story of those games because they're so freaking stupid, but presented in such a earnest way. It's my favorite kind of anime or any of this stuff out of Japan. I love it. I love it. All right, because you got these state-of-the-art jets. Some of them are based on real jets. And it's photorealistic game. I don't know if anyone's ever played Ace Combat games, but the newer ones are just mind-blowingly realistic. Except for you play them, they're pretty arcadey, but they look like flight sims. The ground, the terrain, all of it. People on the radio, Red Leader, we need to, all that stuff's very realistically handled. But you're fighting against Eurasia and a king over there who's got ideas on how to poison everybody. So they think I killed the president in my plane once, so they pull me out of this plane prison and have me fly a plane to fight the Eurasians.
He killed the president with his plane.
I mean, it's so stupid, but it's so beautifully rendered in the story cutscenes. Amazing stuff, like Top Gun Maverick level quality, but the dumbest story you've ever heard, and it's wonderful. So I always liked that. That was never a problem. What I was itching for was missions. Go and shoot down three of these guys and take out these ICBMs and come back. I was craving that for some reason. So think like Desert Strike in the old days, or I can't think of something else. Ace Combat. That's what I always think of.
Yeah, it's Ace Combat.
Yeah, it's Ace Combat. Go do some missions, have some dumb story, come back, upgrade your plane, go do some more. I was in the mood for that. So I've been doing that. Also wonderful on Steam Deck, which helps. And then I did some WoW raiding, of course. Bo and I still raiding for our team, having a great time. I know Bo's done more, so we'll talk to him about that in a second. Did some retro game stuff. And I don't know if you guys remember a few years ago, there was a game called Cave Blazers, 2017, I think. It's basically Spelunky, but more RPG. And every once in a while, I go back to that, and I always enjoy it. So I'll let people discover it on their own. It's old. I think that thing is currently like 99 cents. There's some sale on that right now. So hopefully you guys all went and spent money on Aces and Adventures, Coffee Caravan, Dungeon Clawler, Ace Combat 7, whatever. Your mileage may vary.
Ace Combat's still $80.
It's expensive. It goes on sale
That's a
here
sale
and there.
buy for me.
Yeah, it goes on sale. I wouldn't necessarily pay full price, and they're supposedly working on a new one. I've heard anything about it. But.
A game with 7 installments is making 8.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. It might be my favorite thing that Namco does. And I like a lot of Namco things. I really like this. So,
I mean, you bring it up often enough. I definitely.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll put it on the wish list. Someday I'll try it. Nobody buy it at full price for me, please. Just,
I'm a big fan.
I've been spoiled lately, but please don't,
I will say this. My brain has been doing something weird lately where the inverted flight model, how you invert your controls.
Yeah.
Well, the standard is what I usually do, whatever that is. I think it's pull up and your plane pulls up, or, pull the stick back and the plane pulls up, push it forward, plane goes down.
Yeah.
That's what I'm used to, and that's standard. That's what most of these things do. And they usually give you an option to flip it for people that struggle with that directional thing. So instead, they will pull back, go down, and the thing will go down, because to them, down means down. It's just the way our brain works, whatever you're used to. I'm usually standard, but for some reason, it took me like 3 missions to get out of my own head on that. I was like doing it wrong, and I never change it. So I don't know what was going on there.
That's weird.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
That's weird.
It made me feel like I was losing it.
That's not good.
I'm like, Kim, can you smell toast? Is it just me? That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Right. Stroking out. Anyway, that's what I played this week. John, Castlevania Advance Collection, which also I think was free on Epic last week.
Yeah, it was. It was so weird. I was missing one of the games from the full collection of all of these, and I just bought it, and then it was up on Epic for free.
Nice.
Whatever.
Well done.
I already owned 2 of them. I got a good discount.
Yeah.
Yeah, I needed a palate cleanser after playing so much Dragon Age. I was like, all right, I want something that I can just get in and just play. And I decided to play Aria of Sorrow.
Which you and I we still agree that might be the greatest they've ever made, right?
I think that's probably the best Castlevania.
I am in full
agreement. In my opinion. I'm full disclosure, I know there are 2 camps for Castlevania. There are people that like the traditional whip, not knockback when you get hit, kind of going through levels and stages Castlevania. I've always preferred the Metroidvania style of Symphony of the Night and Aria of Sorrow. Those have always been my personal preference, and I think this is even better than Symphony of the Night. Although it is short, I found that out because I beat the game.
Oh, wow. Again, this isn't your first time to the rodeo, right? You've done this before.
No, I've beaten it many times, and I got in and played it, and before I knew it, I actually accidentally beat the final boss. I was like, man, this really looks like the path up to Dracula's throne. And then I walked in, and the guy's like, I've become Dracula. And I was like, shit, it was. This is the sort of final boss. And the other crazy thing is, so this game has multiple endings.
Yeah.
And it has an ending where if you go and you beat the final boss, you get kind of a medium ending. It's not really good. It's not really bad. It's just like, okay, you did it. But if you have 3 specific souls equipped, when you fight the final boss, you will unlock the path, which is additional areas to explore, additional bosses to fight. And you will unlock that if you have those souls equipped when you fight the final boss. Coincidentally, I couldn't even remember what they were. Those were the souls I had equipped, and I accidentally stumbled on the final boss. Went, oh, I guess this is the final boss. Beat him, and then unlocked they're like, there's a way for you to undo this, because there's a big twist in the story there. It's actually one of my favorite story twists. And they're like, now you got to go fight, Chaos. And you're like, all right, great. And so I unlocked that because coincidentally my 3 favorite souls to have equipped are the 3 you need to get what you need. So I ended up getting a full complete of the game, and I didn't feel like I was done with Soma Cruz and his Castlevania adventures. So I booted up Castlevania Dawn of Sorrow, which is part of the Dominus collection, and I started playing that, and I have very nearly beaten that thing. So I'm making good progress on that too. Dawn of Sorrow also very good. The only reason I think Aria of Sorrow is better is because Dawn of Sorrow does lean into a couple of, hey, we're on the DS, so let's do some DS things. Yeah. And hate that. Like, it's not better for it. Yeah. So if those things weren't in the game, I'd actually probably consider that maybe better. Also, they did something with the art style. Everybody gets super anime for Dawn of Sorrow for some reason. Yeah. But I don't hate it, but it's definitely not as good. But yeah, it was really good to go back to those. Originally, my plan was to play through all the games in the Advanced Collection, but I made the mistake of starting with Aria. And it's so much better than the other 2 that I couldn't go back to the others. So Circle of the Moon was the first Game Boy Advance game, Castlevania game. And there is something about the jump. Like, you have this really floaty jump, but then when you fall like 8 times faster than you jumped. And it became unplayable. To go from a game that controlled the way it felt like it should to that, I was like, ooh, I hate how this controls. I don't like it. And then the other one that was on there, I can't remember what it's called. It's better for sure. But even that, it was like, it's a step back. It doesn't have the soul system. The soul system's really cool. And here's my advice. If you picked up the Advanced Collection for free, you're playing these games, and you want to play all of them, play Portrait of Ruin first. It will get better from there. If you start with Aria of Sorrow, you are starting with top tier. It's all downhill from
one
there.
One of the greatest games ever made in that era. I love Aria of Sorrow so much.
Yeah, it's really, really good. I found the best weapon in that playthrough, and I had never found it before. It's called like the Claima Solith or something like that.
Oh, weird.
It's this giant holy sword that swings really fast. It's super powerful. And I was like, oh, this sword seems amazing. It's just hidden. It's just in a room. I was like, this is great.
That's crazy that you never saw it in any of those playthroughs.
I didn't see it before. I beat the game before using something else. It wasn't that.
Wow.
Yeah, these games are so good. I still find it so funny that because this Castlevania takes place in the future, that one of the weapons you can get is just straight up a handgun. Yeah. And it's garbage. It's not good at all, but it is really funny to play through the game just pulling out a handgun and just being like, it takes so many shots to kill anything, but it's such a funny weapon. I love it.
Yeah.
So yeah, these games are great. That's what I decided to do for my palate cleanser, was play Aria and Dawn of Sorrow. But now I'm thinking about, hey, we've got Game of the Year coming up, and we talked about it a lot on this show. I feel like there are some games that I played this year or didn't play this year that I'm missing. So I'm looking over at my PS5.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I already own Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I should probably play that. I have Stellar Blade. I should probably play that. I need to buy Astrobot and Unicorn Overlord. I don't have those yet.
Yeah.
And then on the PC, I feel like, a ton of people are talking about Wukong. I played a lot of it. I love it. It's great. But I didn't stick with it long enough to be like, oh, this is absolutely game of the year. So I feel like I should play more. And I just had Silent Hill 2 gifted to me.
Oh.
Big thanks to Shatterproof on
nice.
that one.
Nice.
So I'm going to get into that.
Oh,
so
you know what that means? You're going to get further than we got in that playthrough, and then you're going to know what shit is waiting for me. And then you're going to do that thing where you watch me creep up on a thing and then lose my shit, but you knew it was coming.
Yeah.
Damn it. That's fine.
That's exactly what's going to happen.
It's totally fine.
And so those are the ones that I think I'm focusing on. I will put it out there. I put it on Discord. And to anybody listening, is there anything else that you think I'm missing that would make my game of the year? Like, that's the other thing is like, I know there's plenty I didn't play this year so far, but stuff that might make, my top 10 or something. So
have you heard
those
of,
are what I'm kind of looking at.
Have you heard of this Dungeon Crawler? Just came out.
See, that's a perfect example of a game I really want to play, but I think in no universe would it be in the top 10 games of the year.
It might
that's not.
No, I know what you mean.
Shots fired at it.
I know what you mean.
But it's not going to make the list.
100% know what you mean. Yeah, that's fine. Gosh, what else is there? I mean, obviously you've put the word out. People will answer in their own way, but I was going to just rip through this and see if I saw anything. Dragon's Dogma 2 is the one that I was a little surprised. The hype around that game was deafening, and the conversations around it were deafening. But now no one's talking about it. It's like barely.
I think it came out, and by a lot of accounts, I think it was disappointing. So I think there was a ton of hype for it, ton of expectation. I think it was a disappointment. I've played a little bit of it. The little bit I've played of it, it's not going to be in the top 10. So
Homeworld 3.
No.
How about The Legends of Heroes Trails Through Daybreak? I don't know what that is.
I have no idea what that is. No,
Yeah.
I think we're probably good there. Anyway, so yeah, if anybody else has anything you think would particularly interest me, let me know in Discord or some other way. Blue Sky, however you want to get a hold of me.
I want to play. I want to flay a fish, and I would like to play ReFantazio. Those are the two things I want in my life right now.
Yeah, there's a lot of ReFantazio to play before the end of the year, though, Scott.
I know,
but you should play it. It's
tempted
good.
by it. Tempted, and feeling a need for some turn-based stuff. But there is a lot of story, so I need to temper that with how much I'm willing to do. Part of my problem is I'm reading a lot, and I think that's messing up my quotient for narrative. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, that actually makes perfect sense.
Especially it's a really good
story
book.
From other places, so now you just want your game from other places.
And I'm behind on TV for the same reason because I'm reading so many books right now. So this too shall pass. Something else will get get more of my time, and it'll all be fine. But
Money had some suggestions. They said Animal Well, UFO 50, Wild Bastards, SteamWorld Heist 2, and Tactical Breach Wizards. I own all of those. I've played almost all of those. And I will tell you that one of those is in my top 10 games of the year.
Ooh. I'm not even sure which that would be. That's great. What, Bo?
What about this? There's another one I just saw. Ultros.
Ultros? What's that?
Ultros?
ULTROS.
Ultros.
Yeah, so I just noticed all the Golden Joystick Award winners are like announced, right? Like at the same time as we're recording, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was I just clicked over and just looked, and this was on the list.
It's half
side-scrolling indie game.
Half off.
I like the look of it. Looks really cool. Looks wild.
It's only $11 right now. It's normally $25. That might be worth grabbing. Let's see.
A Metroidvania, so but it's in that Castlevania.
Oh man, this is one of those deals where you can buy Ultros for $12.49, 50% off, or I can get Hotline. These are the Hotline Miami people. I can get Hotline Miami and Ultros bundle for $11.24.
Dude, I'm gonna be broke.
Ooh, this looks cool, dude.
Yeah, it's been on my wish list. I'm like,
Cyberpunk business.
A myth.
Whoops! Sorry. A myth.
A myth.
A myth. A Woo Black Conco monkey boy. All right. Well done. Let's move on. Bo, Stalker 2, Heart of Chernobyl. Somebody's had a dip their toe in it.
It was released this week.
Mm-hmm.
It was released yesterday. I'm like, I got to check out this game.
Yeah.
So I did the prologue. I'm about 2 hours in, and everything seems joyfully terrible in the game so far.
Oh.
Like, it's, do you like green? Do you like brown?
If presented to me in both brownie and mint form, yes, I'm into it.
Right, no, but I mean, do you like
talking about those Andes mints that you can have?
Oh,
everyone's clothes are green and brown. No, we're talking about clothing. All the grass and trees are all green and brown and rotted.
Yeah,
I've got a game for you.
So like Stalker 1, sort of. That.
Yep.
Yeah.
I will say, graphically, it's more impressive, but I feel like the prologue isn't enough. I can't call like either way on a recommend or not of this game. So far, its vibes are immaculate. The premise is this. I think you need some understanding of Stalker 1, I think, to understand the premise. It won't stop you from playing the game. There's just stuff I don't know. But essentially, I'm a guy who's in my apartment, and the apartment got blown up from a random anomaly, which are distortions in reality.
Yeah.
And what's left behind is an anomaly, which is like a rock. And my protagonist, is like, oh, these rocks could be valuable since my house is blown up. Let's take it into the zone to try and recharge it. And potentially this will net me a lot of money because these anomaly stones sell for a lot of money. That's the premise. So some guy I drove with lets me off in the truck, and I go into the zone where there is mutant dogs and mutant men that blink invisible. Like, it's like already hard. Like, it's not like, usually in a video game it's like, here's the monster, now here's the invisible monster. It's like, nope, we're right into invisible monsters already. Like, we're right there.
I heard it in a preview referred to as Dark Souls for shooter fans, which I think already exists with that Revenant or whatever.
Yeah, it's like maybe Skyrim mixed with Dark Souls, because like you do meet NPCs, you do have dialogue options. It feels like Fallout or Skyrim.
Yeah,
but yes, there's no like strength and intellect. Like, there's no stats. Like, you find guns and items and you move through the world. I think the vibes it gives me is like a original Crisis, but scary. Like, Crisis isn't scary, but like you have a terrain and you've got to cross the terrain with your, weapons. Also, but it's also that Eastern European depressing vibe to it as well, right? So, so far everyone's shitty. Like, I keep running into like humans, and I'm like, oh, should I talk to them? And I go close to them, and they immediately open fire on me.
Oh, jeez.
So I die, and then I'm like, okay, I have to learn the lesson of this game, which is shoot everyone. But then there was some people, I think, that were NPCs I was supposed to go talk to, but they were shooting some dogs.
Oh.
But I didn't know that, so I opened fired on them, and they just kind of murked me really quick. And I'm like, so nothing in this game is labeled, like kind of how real life would be. You don't know like who you're dealing with.
Yeah.
And either they turn around and shoot you, or I don't know. I set it to the highest difficulty. I might be regretting that choice just because I have to reload saves because bullets are pretty lethal.
Yeah. Is this the game where the bullets are currency, or am I thinking of the Metro series? Because they're very similar.
The Metro series. Okay. That's Metro.
Okay.
This one's big innovation so far is the distortions in reality are cool. I haven't stepped into one, but they've told me I'll die. But the big thing you have is you have bolts. And what a stalker does is, you throw the bolt into a distortion in reality, and that'll subdue the distortion for like a little bit, and then you can walk through the distortion. But it's a whole ass item in your bar where you like take out a bolt and throw bolts at things. I'm like, wow, I like this. I like the bolt throwing mechanic. That's cool.
Sure.
But the game has like a super scary vibe. Like, I'm supposed to go to this lab, and there's gunshots in the distance, and I'm like, oh, what's going on? And when I get to the lab, everyone's dead. So someone was recently there shooting. You can hear it, but you're not near them. and it's super dark. It's like, you know, they make maybe like a scary corridor game like Resident Evil.
Sure.
But it's like an open world scary game, kind of. At least like I have to put my flashlight on and look around, and there's noises and skittering everywhere. Everything's broken. So far, the vibes are immaculate, and I'm enjoying it, and I will play again. But you know, there is a little bit like translation issues. The dialogue hasn't been the greatest. Not in a this was well written slop like Dragon Age style. More like I don't think this translates well. Some of the jokes, some of the weird things, like something weird happened. There's a guy who's getting his house shut up, and so you kill the guys and you talk to him. He's like, "Wow, you helped the guy out. That was great." You know, like, and I'm like, "Your house just got shut up. What is with this sentence you're saying? It's not even. It's like." It's clearly quest dialogue. I'm like, shouldn't you be like frazzled that your house is shut up? But maybe this world they're just used to getting shot at. I don't know. But so far, I've enjoyed my time in there. That maybe 1 or 2 hours, maybe a little more that I was in there.
Ooh, these anomalies are cool. Look at that.
Yeah, graphically, the game looks pretty good. You know, it's just got that color palette that's not colorful, but like the animations of when you open a chest, it fully animates you getting up, lifting the chest open, and getting in there. Like it's not pressy and just the window pops up. Like everything animates.
Yeah,
which I appreciate. And yeah, like opening doors and stuff like that. So we'll see. I don't know what the story is apart from I got my stuff stolen at the end of all of it, and that's I think what starts the game off. Is I need to get my little rock back.
Yeah. I'm glad this Ukrainian
Nash Magard story.
I'm glad. Yeah, I was going to say
my rock.
I'm going to kill everyone until I get my rock back.
It does look like Nash Magard the game in a visual way. But I like that the team. This is a Ukrainian developer. They got super delayed because of the stupid Russian war crap. I'm glad that they finally got to do what they needed to do. They got the support they needed from publishers and that part of it is heartening. Whether or not I play a game like this, probably not. Like it's too scary. I'm gonna be scared.
You'll find it too scary. It's definitely scary time, Banana Pants. Like even though it isn't designed to be scary, it's just you're in the middle of an irradiated forest.
Yeah,
there's wildlife creaking. There's guys who are invisible, like. Right at the start of the game, like it's not like we're in the hard levels now. It's like here's invisible dogs and men. Enjoy. Yeah.
I love the way you describe that. Invisible dogs and men.
Invisible dogs and men.
I like it a lot. All right. Well, you dove back into Hell Divers. You dived in.
Yeah. So Baldur's Gate 3 fell apart. So it's just me and Crofton. We're like, let's play Hell Divers. That's the perfect play some game with some people game, and we had a great time.
Yeah.
The game is good. My railgun does damage again. Hooray! They did that whole They did that whole update where they apologized. They're like, we were nerfing things to balance the game. We're sorry for doing that. And then they reverted all their balancing just to be like, people just want to go in and blow shit up, and you're ruining your game by trying to make it League of Legends. Like, stop it.
Yeah.
Which is great. And they added a 10th difficulty, Super Hell Dive. So they've also found a way to crank things up. There's now flying things. The flying things are so annoying because there wasn't flying bugs anymore. Now these flying bugs will like knock you on your ass as they fly by if you don't hit them. Yeah. And I love the mech. Oh my god, the mech is so cool. I just love calling down my my BFR.
Is there
robot?
So I noticed you have a short of. Oh, here it is. Crofton's epic jetpack skills.
Oh, yeah.
Y'all need to see this. I'm going to play this with volume and everything because this is so great.
Yeah, it's not a copyrighted song. It's just some DJ's remix.
I love how you're slowed down but laugh. Yeah. So what was he? So in the game, well, what this shows is they made an animation for dipshits. Is what they did.
Yeah. Well, it's one of those things where like you feel like a badass when you're playing, but like when you like step on a plant that blows up in your face, when you trip, the game isn't just like the game will be like, well, now you're going to get to see yourself and your mistake, and your teammates also get to see it too.
Yeah.
If you fall down a hole, your guy will go ah, and everyone can hear your guy sounding like an absolute goofball.
Yeah.
Because nobody's a hero. Like you're in your space SUV. Like it's like you all could just share one ship and save the space environment. Nope, everyone's burning fuel in their own giant super cruiser. It's that satire on American excess, right?
Yeah.
Of just overdoing it completely in the name of democracy. But so I think that's why you do look badass for a lot of the game, but I think that's why when you take tumbles, you're as humanizing as everyone else. Like it's like you're not some superhero that never looks uncool. You're like you are still just a rank and file grunt, and when you fly in a jetpack and miss the landing, you're gonna fly over the.
I mean, it's incredible actually. Like the fact that they even bothered didn't make it. So
I mean, that's what made me laugh. It wasn't the fact that he missed, because that's happened in thousands of games. It's the fact that he like, like what is that College Humor Fail, or what was that site that they used to put fail videos on? Like they just turned
like E-Bombs World, not that.
Yeah, that kind of thing, or College Humor, or wherever you'd find like fails back in the day. Like, they just actually make your fails look like fails in the game, and I was laughing. I was laughing so hard for like 5 minutes, and it was annoying Crofton. Because Crofton's like, check out. He seems also like, check out what I do. I'm so good, and then just to watch him come into my screen and like eat dirt. So
yeah, that's the most Crofton thing we've ever seen here on the show. That was amazing. All right.
I just put the video out, but he's like, at least it wasn't in slow motion, so I spent 2 hours in DaVinci Resolve editing that video.
Dude, DaVinci's great. I love Resolve. It's great.
Resolve's good, and it's free.
It's
free. I was paying for a video editor from Cyberlink, but like they want an annual fee, and like I paid it for 1 year, and when it came up, I went screw this and switched to Resolve.
Yeah, Resolve's awesome. Paid version's good too, but it's like a one-timer pay thing.
I just hate switching those things because of the learning curve. They have so many buttons and features, and it's like where you go to a new one, you're like, where is it all?
Yeah.
Where is all the buttons?
That's why I dumped Adobe finally, because I could do Premiere was like the big hangout, and Hang On, or the last, what's the hanging thread? It was the final straw. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
And I gave up on it finally and went with that, and it's really good.
And open source kicks ass. Like we have Godot, and now we have like Resolve is just like, okay, awesome. This is so cool.
It's a good time to be looking for tools. All right. Well, there's what we played, and that is going to do it for today's show. Normally, we would have an email here, but I have little kids to take to.
No WoW Mythics.
A light
want to
show.
talk about WoW?
Oh, I'm sorry. I skipped right over that. WoW. We went right to Helldivers. You hit 2,200, dude. That's no small feat.
Yeah.
Especially coming late to it a little bit.
To say about Mythic Plus, rating.
Yeah, please do.
But so like this will be mainly just for the WoW people, because I don't know if you're not interested in WoW, you might not know all the dynamics. But essentially, there's 4 levels of crests.
Yeah.
For upgrading your gear,
and
gears. It's confusing because it's not just you get a piece of gear, but a gear is upgradable 6 times.
Yeah.
And you need different types of crests.
Yeah.
So where Scott and I are at is we have like basically the 3rd tier of crests and the maximum like track of item for it, and then we're capped.
Yep.
To get the higher tier of gear, we'll get them in our like weekly vaults. Once a week, you might get a hero. Actually, that's the current tier, so no, you won't get it. But basically, it upgrades to 4 of 6, and I can't upgrade it to 6 of 6 because it requires these gilded crests.
Yeah.
The only way to get them is, I think, doing mythic raids, which we're not doing. We're doing heroic.
Yeah, mythic raids or mythic dungeon plus something.
Or mythic dungeons. And it just annoys me that I don't have fully upgraded like hero gear, and there's no way for me to earn it except to do the super hard content.
Yeah.
And I said, well, I'm not going to do this. And then immediately started
I love it.
Going hard.
That's what's different. I would say, I'm not going to do that. And then I won't. You go, I'm not going to do this. And then you spend 4 days doing it and killing it, like catching up. You got the mount. You're almost 2,500. You're not going to stop now, are you? Or no, say that you're going to stop, and then
my big thing is like I'm not trying to get the highest mythic levels. So basically, you do these plus keys, right? So +1, +2, +3, +4.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, to get gilded crest, the tier 4, the rich people crest, you got to do +8. So my thinking is just like I got delves on farm to get a lot of level 3 crests. What if there's a way I can, I can bang these out, right?
Yeah.
And so I've been working on that problem. You know how like it's like a Diablo difficulty level. We're like, how do I get to Tournament 3? What gear changes do I need to make? What do I need to do? I've got weak auras. I'm studying my MDT, my mythic, whatever it's called, but it's just like every pack, what do I need to do? Because I will tell you, I think the mythic difficulty is a little on the bullshit side. It has the thing you hate the most, Scott, which is timers. Yeah. I hate the timer.
I don't like timers
so much.
Hate them. Yeah, not my favorite.
Yeah, I wish they didn't put that content behind timers.
I mean, it is a layer of difficulty, right? Like, I get it. I get why timers are considered an add for difficulty. I just think there are other ways to do it, and I don't like any games with timers. It's not just a WoW problem. I hate.
It's
timers.
even worse than that, because it's one thing to have the timer, but if you don't make the time, you get demoted, and you get demoted to a tier where I can't earn, so I have to re-earn back up.
Yeah. And
it's a really bad system. I think they should do it like Nephilim Rifts, where if you cleared a 1, then you just get permanent unlock on 2. Just work your way up, and then once you can do 8, if you fail, maybe you get less reward, but you don't get bumped down on your keystone. I think that's really silly. But I'm still determined to. I got that that bullheadedness when I decide I'm just gonna master a thing. So I'm kind of. That's why I didn't get to other games. That's mainly my big thing. I'm going hard on mythics because I'm in this bullheaded phase of mastering the mythic grind at this point. So.
Sure. All right, we'll do what you
and I'm
even
tanking now because I'm like, it's so hard to get a group as a DPS that I'm just like, fuck it. I'm sorry. A lot of F-bombs today.
It's Thanksgiving almost. It's fine.
My quota. I'm sorry.
It's all fine.
It's probably the daytime, like the time we've picked earlier in the day. I'm more sweary than in the evening, I guess. I don't know if that's it, but
yeah. You'd think it'd be the flip of that, but I get it.
Yeah, but I just said F it, and I'm going hard into tank. Learn my tank version. So,
nice.
Anyways, all that to say, when I gear up enough, I probably be able to bring some people in and try and get them their gildeds too, just to help them out with that.
I'd love to run some hero or some mythics with you. I'm very newbie to those, so I'm not like the best pick for this stuff. But DPS or tank, I'd do it. So.
It's a muscle memory thing. You gotta kind of run them and memorize the pulls. And once you do, they're good, but they can be quite challenging. You can't jump into +8s right away. You got to like learn.
Yeah.
But it is rewarding. But I think like obviously like anything, once you outgear it, then you can respect mechanics less and less.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's all coming up soon. We're going to be raiding on Friday and looking forward to that. Always. All right, that's going to do it for today's show. We had a lot to talk about, and we did it. And I'm proud of that. We proudly did it.
We put in a good chunk of time today.
We did. I want to thank a couple of new patrons for joining us. Dustin Rimmy, or Rimey, probably Rimmy because it's 2 M's. And a guy named Apartment of Doom.
Oh.
Right? That's cool.
That's a Doom we haven't seen yet.
Yeah.
Apartment Doom.
That's where Doom Guy goes at the end of a... Yeah. I'm going home to my apartment of doom.
Doom.
Anyway, he's awesome, whoever that is. And that's because they both joined up to get cool stuff every month, like host specials, pre-show content every week, no ads, lots of benefits, hardly any reason not to sign up. So go sign up today at patreon.com/core show. And as usual, if you want to contact the show, talk to thecore@gmail.com is a great way to do it. Or you can text us at 801-471-0462. You can also now find us all on Blue Sky, where everybody is migrating pretty hardcore.
Oh yeah, not that we won't spend a lot of time on this, but I formally deleted my Twitter account.
Oh, nicely done.
It's done. It's gone.
Nothing wrong with that. Mine is also dead in the water. I'm not using it anymore. That thing sucked. I will tell you this though. Let's see. John Jagger. I'm just trying to get the names right. It's a little weird because it's Fediverse stuff, so you're not using traditional names over there. John Jagger is at John Jagger, all one word, .bsky.social.
I beat him to it.
Good job, dude.
Suck it, other John Jagger. You might have been first to Twitter, but I was first to Blue Sky. What now?
Yeah.
And also, I feel bad because some of the followers, I think, might think that I'm the other guy. I don't know. Maybe it's just a lot of web dev people like to follow me. Yeah. That's fine, too. Yeah. But, yeah. Take that, John Jagger.
Take that, jerks.
I win.
Yep.
I win.
You
Look
win.
at me.
Look at
John
him.
Jagger.
Yeah.
I'm the captain
You're
now.
the captain now. Exactly. Bo Schwartz is over at BoSchwartz.com. He tied his to a domain, as I did as well. And you can find me at thescottjohnson.com. But I think you just start looking for Scott Johnson, you'll find it. Or just look for Bo Schwartz and you'll find it. Or Gorath and you'll find it with a 4 in it. It's really easy.
Or if you find Tanner's or a number of accounts, go to starter packs and search for one of us.
Starter packs are awesome. They're so cool.
Yeah.
And I just, for those that don't know what that is, you can basically give somebody a prepackaged group of people, trusted people you might want to follow. Or in some cases, these packs are designed to go block all these idiots. But in this case, the one you want to follow, and there's a Frog Pants pack already up on my account. You just hit it. And even if you're already following some people, you just hit the follow all up top, and you're done. All 150 of those people are in there. And we got multiple packs coming, so
am I in there?
watch for
Do
those.
they auto-follow me?
I don't know. I think you had to add yourself to it, but I was thinking about making a core one anyway, like a separate little core one. So one way or the other, you'll get everybody. But for now, look for John Jagger, Bo Schwartz, Scott Johnson. We're all on there, and it's going real good. I like it. Feels like Twitter 08. So now if it's 08, we got to start talking about horse armor. Fallout 3's coming.
Okay, yeah, let's talk about horse armor. I think this might be a sign of bad things to come in the video game
I think you might be. I mean, I don't know. You have nothing to base that on, but I think you might be right. I think it's going to be trouble.
And my prediction for Fallout 3, I think this is going to be a classic, but I think it will need some expansions, and I think they should rethink the ending a little bit.
It might be a little broken at launch as well, so watch for that. Anyway, big year coming up. Oh, and the Large Hadron Collider gets turned on this year, so watch for that as well.
That was when it all started.
Everything got weird after that.
Oh, this is when Half-Life happens in real life, right?
Yeah, that's right. You're late again, Gordon. I keep hearing
Turn that on, and all of a sudden it was the Berenstain Bears. That's my understanding.
That's right. Now, here's what you need to do. Go to our website. If you're looking for anything else, contact us, whatever it is, frogpants.com/core. Grandma, I don't know how you're feeling. Do you want to try this, Grandma?
I mean, let's try it. Let's see how it goes.
Or you can go Randy Jordan again.
Let's see here. Oh, I sound a little sick. I sound like sick Grandma. But I'm not too sick to tell you what they played this week. So this is what it was. They talked about Dragon Age Veilguard for the last time. That might make you happy. That might make you sad, but it happened. Aces and Adventures. That was the card game. Coffee Caravan. Bo bought that one. He was so excited. You play. It's cozy.
It is cozy.
Dungeon Crawler. Ace Combat 7.
Yeah.
Castlevania Aria of Sorrow and Dawn of Sorrow. Stalker 2 Heart of Chernobyl. World of Warcraft. And Helldivers 2.
Oh my, that is a list, man. No excuses not to go play some games, everybody. There's some cool sales going on and stuff, so go do that. We'll be back we'll be back Monday for us. Probably.
Are we going to do it live, or are we just posting on Thursday?
It's entirely up to us. You want to do it live or no? It's up.
I don't care. Either way.
We could do it
either way.
We could do it live. We could not. But either way, we're putting a show up on Tuesday or Monday. So watch for that. That's because Thanksgiving's coming. Next Thursday's jacked. So
it's going to be a Q&A show because obviously Monday's not that far away. So it's not like a lot's going to happen. So if you have, we have lots already.
Yeah.
But if you have any urgent cues you needed aid,
yeah, send
then
them.
get them to Scott.
Yep, send them in all those ways I mentioned. There's also a form on our website. Super easy to send stuff there. We're happy to take them.
Flag it urgent, like any office email that gets sent.
Exactly. It's all urgent, ready to rock. We'll talk about them and answer all your questions on Monday. Between now and then, have a fantastic weekend. Enjoy all the video games you'll surely be playing. And we'll see you next time.
Oh, looks like someone just got their ears caught in the audio cookie jar. It's okay. You can have another, and another after that, at frogpants.com.
Ooh, we did it.
Cookie jar.
Cookie